There you go.
Is there a problem, people?
Beavis, we gotta find something that floats and get in that river.
Yeah, really.
Something that floats.
Is there a problem?
Whoa, check it out, butthead! Beavis, this is our lucky day.
Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
It's Hollywood, baby.
All right, welcome everybody. Happy 2024.
Yes.
We're finally back for another Thirsty Thursdays. I got my beer. I got my nerd buddies. We're still waiting on Hard Cut, but we'll add them in when as soon as they get here. And I'm like super excited to get into all the garbage that's been going on. So join us, dear viewer, as we dive into the dumpster fire that is modern Hollywood. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
That was a great intro.
Beautiful. Very charged up. Very fired. Ready to go.
So we got Angry Badger, who actually, you may have seen him on Open Bar on The Critical Drinker. He's been YouTubing and a lifelong nerd just like us. And yeah, welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Yeah, I agreed to do this with you. Oh God, it seems like forever ago. It was like
I know.
the end of last month, but it's finally here. Very excited to be here. Yeah, a lot has happened. Thank you. Shout out to Critical Drinker for whatever reason. The Kingmaker himself reached down and touched me, anointed me, and it's been a very surreal experience. Still.
I mean, I feel like I'm stepping on his toes because like the time difference to the UK is only 4 hours until Sunday.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he's on now, and I'm like, well, will people show up? Like, what's up?
people eventually, yes. When he ends, they will show up. But it's really hard to set up streaming
I
because
know.
you're stepping on someone's toes eventually.
Exactly. Yeah. And Sin, how you doing? It's been a while.
It has been a bit. It's been a bit since you've done a whole Thursday. Was I on the last one? I think it was. It's been like what?
Yeah,
a few
it was
months?
the one where myself and Jesse had seen Captain Marvel, but Hard Cut hadn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
that
a
was
bit.
that was a hell of a disaster. The Marvels.
I refused to watch it. I was like, no, I can't. I don't like Brie Larson, so I don't
Oh, yeah.
What?
suffer through watching.
Queen Bree? You don't like Queen Bree even after
Yeah.
she was been rehabilitated by Ryan from RK Outpost? Honestly, I do like Bree at this point. She hasn't said anything
Yeah.
horrible. I feel sort of bad, especially those last couples. I don't know. Does anyone even want me anymore? And then, like,
Yeah, no.
Quit. She was just like, I'm never doing superhero movies.
I swear I just saw a story about her continuing to do that. They're going forward with Captain Marvel 2, despite unless I hallucinated it. I was going to look into it
no. So
further.
they canceled it.
Okay.
Yeah, they canceled it. So
'Cause I know they've canceled a
here's
couple, but
Marvel for
here's
that.
Queen Bree. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll send. There goes your representation, your inclusion. It's all for you,
No, not for me. I'm one of
See?
those self-hating women, I guess,
right? You get a lot of that going around.
Like a
if
lot
you
of times
project
in an action movie, with all this testosterone, the last thing I want to see is a girl. Because usually a girl shows up. Why?
based.
Why? It's just a distraction for the guys. Let's just get on to the story.
Well, I'm all right with that, depending on how they do it. Even that has
Sometimes it
its
can
way.
be done right, but a lot of times it's just annoying. Because it just feels
Most
like, okay, they
skill.
they
Most
just
of the time, it's annoying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and now we're seeing it come into gaming, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's been in gaming. We're just seeing
For
it
a little while,
highlighted
yeah.
and going backed by mainstream. Yeah.
right, because like the development cycles for video games are now like I don't know over a decade at this point, and so we're seeing what started getting developed in like 2014 and it's going to keep on going because if the reckoning of anti-woke is happening now, we're still going to be seeing woke games until like the PS6 and whatever Xbox is coming out next. It's it really it upsets me, as I'm sure it upsets you, Badger.
I mean, yeah, angry's in the title. At this point, maybe I should just say like resigned, ill-tempered Badger, because it's just like this is just par for the course. And yeah, as you say, it will get worse, and then it'll get worse again. Because it'll get worse because, like you said, it's been in development for a long time. They can't course correct. This is also what my Kearns has been talking about, Grums on Twitter, that like, oh, this is why they'll go, like, they can't tank losses. So because they're going to double down and they can't course correct, a lot of these companies will just go under. The other ones, once we like really start rejecting it, because they're already seeing it now, just you see the stories. Once they really start failing, like Suicide Squad level failing, oh, then they're gonna get. You think they're angry now? They're just upset about that Steam curation list. Once everyone full on rejects their shit, oh, then things are gonna get fun, and that's gonna be across the board with the movies, everything. Once DEI really realize it's over, can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, you've been going all in on it in your videos. Why don't you take everybody through the history, the Cliff's Notes version of the history of Sweet Baby Inc. Because I feel like this is an insane story.
Like most of these consulting companies, they're all based out of Canada. And they're all a bunch of liberal Canadian settlers, as they describe themselves. But the end result is basically they maybe at one point were like a noble endeavor because all of these activists need themselves and their beliefs in everything. So at one point it might have been a genuine want to do that, but the thing with equity is it's very hard to enforce it or create it out of nowhere. Like, in other words, the reason you're not seeing more Black girl gamers or people like of underrepresented groups in development companies is not because of some vast racist conspiracy. It's just maybe because it's not interested to those groups for whatever reason. And so ultimately they're there to, and the one stipulation I know everyone is blaming them as the devil. They're coming into already infested companies. Every single company here that has hired a Sweet Baby Inc. or and I know this because my dear friend Nerd Wars from his channel, who has just spent hours of watching their own consultants talk and complain that they don't get called into the end to like refine. The company decides to race swap a main character. Sweet Baby Inc. comes in to refine that, maybe add a little more oomph, but they just already ruined characters.
Yeah,
and it's a symptom of a bigger problem.
So I'm glad you just mentioned that. It is a bigger problem because I think
huge
they're
spread
kind of like delayed in everything that's happened, like Me Too in Hollywood. They're kind of delayed. So if you saw what happened with Activision and all the, it was like workplace harassment and like it was just like a total tech bro atmosphere at Activision, and they all got in deep shit with the CEO had to resign, and they got bought out by Microsoft. So and that all happened like not that long ago. Like that
Right.
that all I want to say 2021, 2022, which was long after like the Me Too stuff, like back in whatever 2016, 2017. So
it's all sort of the same tactics,
right? Yeah.
I'm sure there were very real problems, just like I'm sure there was obviously very real problems with Me Too. I'm sure there were very real problems
100%.
in Activision. The thing is that these activists then use that to get rid of a bunch of people that weren't doing that,
Yep.
and then replace them with not even talented. That's the other thing, is it's like it would have been one thing if you use those tactics to then replace them with equally talented or better, but they're even worse. And like, again, shout out to Film Threat for exposing how that was done at Pixar and all that with Jennifer Lee, who ousted Lasseter on essentially Me Too'd him for not really any much, and then replaced them with Tumblr hires because they were hiring influencers trying to replace their fan base that they've bled away because, well, we know why. We're toxic. Sin is toxic. She's selfish. She doesn't like women.
We're so toxic. We're racist. We're sexist.
All the
we're
ists
toxic.
and the obes.
They've
all of
ruined
them.
it.
Dude, when when you keep using the word racist, it starts to lose its meaning. And wasn't it Martin Luther King that said, yo, don't judge people based on the color of their skin, but on the content of their character.
Oh, we've regressed completely.
Well,
They don't.
that's
It's
racist
completely
now,
backwards
though.
now.
Yeah,
That's now called.
that's racist.
You are accused of being racist if you genuinely. That's how you actually view people. Well, that's racist.
Yep.
Right.
Clown
Which
show.
makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah, no, because they don't want meritocracy. That's
No.
what Martin Luther King was saying. That's a meritocracy. Judge people based on their
Yeah.
merit. They don't want that. They want people based on their intrinsic characteristics.
Right, because it divides people.
Yeah, well, and that's
they
another
basically
tool.
weaponized Hollywood to divide the country.
Yeah.
Because like I don't remember it being like this bad.
No,
Well, it's not.
It was not. And honestly, I feel like a lot of this is just because life is too good here. We have to
Well,
invent
right, yeah.
conflict
Well, that's
and
part of it.
troubles and
Yeah.
things to fight against. And, women have to fight against this imaginary patriarchy that's supposedly still a huge thing. And it's like, you would never dare go over to a place like Saudi Arabia and say crap like that. So
Right,
please
right.
spare me.
And I mean,
It's so nonsensical.
women have made so much progress that they've actually surpassed men.
Oh, they have more
Oh,
rights
wow.
and protections than men do. They legit do from the moment they are babies.
Yeah.
Women are more protected than men are. I could go on a whole
The
rant
most
about
protected
that.
class. No, by all
Well,
means.
yeah,
ranting
they
is
definitely
fun.
are. Well, I mean, it delves into territory that gets some guys a little upset, but
Yeah.
women are protected from certain things done to them
Us?
when they're little tiny babies.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
hey! Don't be bringing in Pearl Davis in here.
No, I think the greater thing is that the higher up you go, it's a conspiracy meant to destabilize America and make us all upset for obvious reasons, World Economic Fund people. But then just at the lower levels of like, like on the lower levels, first of all, it's just a bunch of corrupted people that think that this is good. They want to be on the right side of history. They're dumb.
Right.
Like, and I mean that in the loveliest sense of the word. They're not thinking. They're dumb.
Yeah.
They're just trying not to get
They're
fired.
just
Then there's
using
other
their
people-
emotion is all.
Right,
which is
exactly.
not
Well, and that's what they prey on.
generally logical or smart.
So you don't need a conspiracy where formal interests align. There's a lot of allied interests going on. Which is why
All
everyone's
right, we
doing it.
finally got hard cut. Hey guys.
Hope they can hear us.
Hey,
They act like they can't hear us.
I don't hear them.
We'll figure this out.
They look great though.
Yeah. I mean, their set is insane.
I know. I love that set. It's so warm and cozy. I just love it.
I don't know if they can hear us.
They're not acting like they can. So
I don't think they could hear us. We'll let them figure it out.
Yeah.
But and that's why, like, a message from like, agree with him or don't disagree with him. When Tim Scott went on, I want to say like The View, and he was just like, no, don't call me a victim. I worked my ass off to get to where I am.
Oh, they don't like that.
Right. Yeah. They don't. And like, you could see like deer in headlights look on like Whoopi Goldberg's face. Like,
oh, did you see Coleman Hughes' appearance? I
No.
was watching clips of that. He was on The View not long ago, and maybe like this past week, and they did not take too kindly. Well, first Whoopi accused him of being young and basically stupid. So, and then Sonny accused him of being a conservative and he was co-opted, and it was funny. He just sat there. He was really cool about it, but
Dr. Phil was entertaining on there.
I heard.
Yeah.
yeah.
The View is really painful to watch, but if you
I
get
can't.
someone that will, I can't either, but every once in a while, I'll like dip a toe in just to see if they get owned. Because it's very hard in that like an echo chamber to make any sort of point, and then when everyone does the smirking,
I mean, did you guys see how CNN got owned?
you got to specify.
Yeah, sorry. I have to be more specific. Yeah. Sorry. So they were filming something in Gaza, and essentially they faked the fact that they were not. They said they were getting bombed or whatever, and like it was completely fake when like the background video came out. And as YouTubers, I don't know if you guys noticed, when you upload a video, now you have to say like whether you
if there's like an artificial type
right.
Yeah.
That's all because of CNN.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I had not heard about this. Wow.
I mean, I haven't had cable since I moved to New York 11 years ago. I haven't had cable. I think we could hear them, actually.
I hear some noise.
We'll let him figure it out.
We're all
He's just
very
rubbing his-
professional.
Well, that reminds me of there was a newscast. It was some sort of hurricane had happened, and they were filming from the boat or whatever. They were broadcasting from this boat, and then in the background, someone just walks through the water.
I mean,
Jesus returned.
it's such a joke. I don't know if anybody under 40 that still has cable and like
No.
listens to mainstream media. I mean, the mainstream media, all of it, like on both sides, Fox, CNN,
Oh, I can't.
all of it.
Yeah,
it's
can't.
so completely disconnected.
Well, they outed themselves by all the copious amounts of lying they did for several different years. And then getting
And
caught.
how they basically say the same thing. Their narrative is that, like, I
those
was
videos, those are terrifying.
they're creepy, but also
Super creepy.
when I really first noticed it was way back when George W. was running, and he picked Cheney as his running mate, and all of a sudden the word gravitas became like the number one word in the country. They kept repeating it over and over and over.
Yeah, we all know how that turned out.
Goodness gracious.
Well, that's like you can see like the searches for like woke DEI spike, all of a sudden when they decide identity politics, all those things.
I mean, it's absolutely terrible, and that's why people like us, YouTubers, are taking over in the news space. You got all of Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, all of them. Then I guess the left is Young Turks and the guy Secular Talk, and then there's like the centrists of Breaking Points.
Breaking Points, yeah.
I mean, Breaking Points gets more views than CNN does in an entire night from one video.
Yeah, no, it's done.
And then you got Tim Pool as well.
Right. I mean, and as Joe Rogan says, like, as far as news is concerned, we'll get back to pop culture in a second. If you're having an interview or a panelist, you got like the little sound bites, but it's really hard to fake authenticity.
I could not have explained that Sweet Baby Ink thing to you in 30 seconds.
Right.
Not without it being a very shallow understanding.
Right.
Did you see what Rogan's numbers are, by the way?
I mean, it's
14.5 billion.
Huge.
Yeah,
They're
so
always
million.
Huge. I love
million.
it.
So
he's been at like 11, but when 14 came out, I was like, all right.
It's like 3 times more than the other one, which is I think 5. Call her daddy or something. Call me daddy, something like that.
Look,
call her daddy.
Completely authentic. He's a great interviewer. Like, have him host the presidential debates.
Oh, they've said that.
Sit down for 3 hours and talk.
You ain't getting Biden to sit down for 3 minutes, let alone 3 hours.
Well, I mean, I want to know what cocktail he's on.
Me too. That's what I said. It's the one that that famous leader in World War II used to take. It's like meth and Peruvian marching powder all mixed together in a fun little syringe.
No, I think it's like the thing that Logan takes.
Oh, we got him.
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, we can hear
a
you,
little
but
low.
your volume is really
Yeah,
low.
to you guys.
Yeah, just raise your volume, but we can finally hear you.
Okay, let me raise the volume.
Yeah.
This is unusual for them, so they
This
must
is the
be
price
natural.
of having a dope studio.
Don't read into anything, any of this. Like, Matt and Bobby at Hardcut are total pros.
It's not. You're still low.
Still low?
Yeah.
Well, we'll let them figure it out.
So when they figure that
just
out.
about now.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Cool.
What's up, guys?
Nice.
Can you tell we haven't done a live stream in a while?
That's how it gets you.
Was the last time on my channel?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Plus, I've been moving a lot of stuff around in the studio.
Yeah,
so
a lot of studio stuff. I had a baby 3 weeks ago. All kinds of fun
Congratulations.
stuff.
You probably are not
been busy.
sleeping at all.
Nope. So yeah, we're a little hectic right now, but we're figuring it out.
Yeah, but I'm constantly texting you guys like, "Hey man, when you dropping the next video?"
Dude, it's been like over 3 weeks. No, tomorrow we got our Roadhouse review coming tomorrow.
Roadhouse.
So
Okay.
the last one was I think at the beginning of March. We did Dune, and we've just been so busy. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's I still haven't dropped my my Ghostbusters video, And today, I was just perusing on one of my high seas websites. Shout out Yiffy. And Ghostbusters Frozen Empire hit the torrents today.
Oh.
Oh,
And
wow.
It just debuted on Friday.
Wait, a cam or digital? An actual
No.
digital?
It's got to be Cam.
Straight up digital. Yiffy-
Really?
A rip, really?
Yeah, Yiffy doesn't release anything like under Blu-ray quality. So
Really?
yeah,
Is it streaming somewhere?
I mean, it
I
must
don't
be.
think.
'cause-
It's possible it could be a screener.
Yeah, say
Oh,
people
okay.
get screeners, or it's already, everything comes out 3 months afterwards anyway. So
Yeah.
it just takes one employee to be like, "Oops."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a while till Dune releases that way.
300. When 300 came out, it was out that same weekend
Oh wow.
on the high seas. Yep.
Oh wow. Well, it is what it is. I have you who here's seen it?
I watched it.
Uh,
Yeah.
Which one? Ghostbusters?
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
No, we're probably gonna see it soon. Couple
Yeah,
of
this,
days.
You
this
poor
weekend.
souls, are you sure?
Yeah, well,
You want
it that
to?
bad?
Go watch Late Night with the Devil instead.
Yeah, I actually really want to see that.
Yeah.
I wasn't
I
a
really
fan
wanna
of.
do
I wasn't
that.
a fan of Afterlife, so
I thought Afterlife was okay, but yeah, I don't know.
I didn't
It's-
like it.
Yeah.
That's like one of our few disagreements.
Yeah.
I don't really like Afterlife at all.
I enjoyed Afterlife. I mean, I'm not a huge Ghostbusters fan. I enjoyed Afterlife. I wasn't super in love with it, but it was at least enjoyable. And oh my goodness, Frozen Empire, I did not get a crap about anything or any of the characters. I was so bored. I was falling asleep.
Damn.
I was waiting for it to end. And I
Tell us-
felt like
I
tell
like
us how
Dan
you feel.
Aykroyd.
it just didn't work for me.
I feel like Dan Aykroyd just played himself because that's how he
Yeah,
is in
he
the
did.
room with the
That's what he
cult,
does now.
and
Yeah.
he
The
loves that.
original cast was utilized quite a bit, but that
I was just
wasn't
happy
enough
that
to
they weren't
save
shit
it.
on. That there were legacy
Yeah,
characters
they-
that weren't shit. And
They definitely weren't.
Ernie
you
Hudson
know.
got a glow up. He's rich all of a sudden, and
Yeah.
Well, of
I was
course,
like,
of
I'm
course
fine
out of
with
all
this.
of them,
Well,
he's the
they
rich
did
one.
that at the end of
Yeah, well,
Afterlife, where
yeah.
they show
Message-
he's like some rich banker.
Yeah.
Something like
Oh,
that.
geez, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Bill Murray. Did you guys feel like he was phoning it in?
No, I feel like he was being Bill Murray.
Bill
like-
Murray.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I've heard that complaint that he was. I just thought he was being understated Bill Murray.
He's
Are they-
Let me guess though.
Guy.
Bill Murray has, out of the 3 legacy characters, Bill Murray has the least amount of
Yes.
screen time.
Yes.
You would
Yeah,
be correct on
yeah.
that. But shockingly, more than you would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually a great guy. I met him very, very briefly.
The Murricane.
What's that?
He's called
Yeah.
the Murricane.
Yeah, exactly. I was running the 2014 New York City Marathon, and he happened to be like right next to me. And I turned, I'm like, "You're Bill Murray." He's
So you
like,
ran a marathon with Bill
Yeah.
Murray, is what you're
yeah,
saying, bragger.
well, not with him. He would.
No, it would count.
And
He was
what
next
was
to you.
his
Yeah,
response? What was his response when you said that?
He was just like, "Yep."
No.
Yeah, I
And I'm
know.
like- and he was like stretching, so I was like, "All right, just do your thing,"
That's
Yeah.
funny.
But he was like totally cool about it. He like smiled and like, yeah.
As opposed to like Anthony Mackie.
Oh yeah, did you guys
No?
hear that?
Yeah,
No.
he's like
No.
he is super non-approachable. If
Yeah.
a fan approaches
Oh,
him,
big
he
shock.
is totally going to brush them off. Which on one side of it, I understand. Celebrities, everybody wants a piece of you, and you do, deserve your own privacy. But at the same time, you are putting yourself out there. You have
They love
fans.
it. They secretly love
you
it.
gonna treat them like crap?
He would
really?
be upset if people stopped talking
Oh
to him.
yeah.
Yeah, he would if people ignored him. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen actually a lot of celebrities. A bunch of them live up here. Actually, another funny story. The day that I was on my way, unbeknownst to me, to go tear my ACL climbing, I saw Jennifer Lawrence on the street.
Oh,
she's-
world's first female action star.
Oh.
My bad luck
I
charm.
think I remember you mentioning that you
Yeah.
saw her.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was on my way to the climbing gym. She was just, crossing the street the opposite direction. I looked at her. She looked at me. I knew that she knew. She knew that I knew she knew. And it's just like, okay.
Did you whistle and go? "Woo-hoo-hoo,"
Yeah.
or whatever the,
No,
the whistle is?
I don't like to bother them. One time we're at a bar with my friend, and he's like, "Yo, that's Spike Lee over there," and I'm like, "Bro, leave him alone."
Yeah,
Go-
he
go-
definitely
go
doesn't
do
want
this.
you to talk to him.
What if he's just having dinner with, like, I don't know, his lady friend at like 5:30? the early bird special, and I'm like, don't go up to him, don't go up to him. What does he do? He's like, yo, man, I love the Knicks, and I'm like, oh God, leave him alone. But yeah, I mean, yeah, so celebrities are a mixed bag, and
just like people, shockingly.
shockingly, right?
Thank you, social media, for exposing the fact that they're just normal ass dummies like us.
Yeah.
Some of them are really great, like a Keanu Reeves or a Jeremy Renner. Some of them are really shitty. I
Yep.
don't really need to name them. You know who they are.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we weren't getting in the 40s, 50s, 60s. Like, we didn't
Right.
know what, I don't know, Humphrey Bogart's political opinions were.
He was a bigot, probably.
Right? So it's just like, yeah, we never knew until social media, and everybody gets on it, and it's like, oh, they're dumb.
Yeah.
It was fun for a while, like MySpace, when we all had music on our page.
Oh, I
Right.
remember those days.
Till we went down a dark path.
Yeah.
Then China and other places were like,
The dark age of cinema.
the troll farm exists now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's we've undergone a ton of changes, and it's been a sea change. Like, I did the Dark Age of Cinema series. I kind of pinpointed it around 2008. Badger and I were just talking about when this whole thing started, and it was right around like Hangover, Tropic Thunder, and then we've slid down into this non-offensive type of movie. All girl boss power and everything, and it doesn't provide good stories. Case in point, Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, they got all those shackles. They can't. Good luck when you see all those inclusion standards. Like, thankfully, Elon Musk commented almost the same thing. That was like, how could you make a story when you have a 3 out of 5 of this group has to be this and this, and like across the board, and then that goes to the equity thing. It was like, so how the heck are you supposed to find an exact balance of all these people on all these, like, down to the people, like the gaffers, they want equity inclusion standards for? It's and again, love to point out, all of this is 4 years old. Remember that ship you said that can't be righted? Yeah, this all happened 4 years ago. That all these standards happen.
Let's not get into
now.
ships being righted.
Right. Oh yeah, I guess that's an unfortunate term. Yeah.
Womp womp.
Yeah. No.
yeah,
But that's what happened.
Yeah. And you can't make a story like that. And there are examples. I'm going to bring one up from video games. You want an awesomely written black character? Barrett from Final Fantasy VII. I don't know, Badger, you played that game, or anybody out there. Bringing it to movies, Samuel L. Jackson and pretty much everything he's ever been in. Taking the woman example, you've got Sarah Connor, Ripley, Beth Dutton from Yellowstone. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it, and Star Wars was the wrong way to do it with Rey. And
this is the wrong way to do everything on every level of Star Wars, but
right.
Yeah.
And now they're surprised when the Acolyte got completely ratioed. I looked this morning; they were down 581,000 dislikes.
Oh, I was surprised it got ratioed.
Yeah, it's a huge ratio.
I was surprised they got ratioed only because Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings. You the fans, I always point out they took none of it. They ratioed every single thing that came out, regardless of where it came out. Star Wars, I thought, still had those Disney new fans, but I guess I underestimated how much they really did piss off every part of their fandom, even their new Reylo fans. So that was very surprising and also encouraging ratio. God knows what that's going to look like.
Quadrupling down with the Acolyte. Just the trailer was just it looked like
it looks like shit.
I thought it was
fucking terrible.
It's worse than like WB, in the 90s or whatever. Or Sci-Fi Channel, where it was like, it's bad, but it's kind of good. No, this is just like bad.
You weren't excited for Kill Bill meets Frozen?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Oh, I've explained it. It still sounds stupid, though. So her whole thing on Frozen, which she says she cried, this is, of course, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland.
Oh, yeah, that chick.
that she cried all the way through Frozen, and that it's like a lesbian coded story. And even though it's between two sisters, the true love wasn't a heteronormative true love. It was the love between two sisters. And the main character of the Acolyte, played by Amandla Stenberg, she has an L. It's Amanda with an L in there at the end. Amandla Stenberg. She's playing twins, basically. So I'm assuming she's making some sort of twin true love analogy. And then the Kill Bill part is that character is killing a bunch of Jedi for Boo Boo Bee Boo taking her sister from her when she was young. So it sounds like a lesbian revenge flick that she put a Star Wars skin over.
Can't wait.
Right? Aren't you
looks like a
excited?
real
Well, it's not
pleasant
made for you
person.
guys. Male and Pale Stale. So it's not made for any of the top and left parts of this screen. Sen, maybe.
No. No.
Okay, no. So it's not made for any of us then. I don't know.
No.
But point something % of the population will love it.
Yeah, I mean, but there's also a good example of it, something that's targeted to specifically women in the rom-com genre was Anyone But You. Movie got made for like 20-something million, and it made 230 million worldwide. And why? Because it didn't focus on this DEI crap.
Well, I mean, aren't they going to a lesbian wedding in it though? I mean,
That's fine.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I haven't seen it.
See, that's one of those, we're going to have to eat the vegetables no matter what. The difference is, do you want the vegetables covered in cheese, or do you want them as the star of the show? And I'll take the vegetables
correct.
covered in cheese.
No, but as terrible as that movie looked, and I had zero interest in seeing it, but I'm still glad that they're making those. Like I just miss those mid-budget
Mid-tier,
rom-coms that they used to make, like 27 Dresses and all that bullshit. Things
was
I
a
was never interested in,
but they should exist.
there
is an
that,
audience for them.
Yeah, you know that you have a healthy film industry when those movies do exist.
Yeah.
And I think they're coming back. I mentioned in my Arthur the King video that this was when YouTube was engaging in algorithm fuckery, but Arthur the King, I think that got made for like 18 million, and it's already tracking to double that. And mid-range budget movie, super inoffensive. It's Marky Mark Wahlberg as an adventure racer who picks up a stray dog, and it's kind of like got a little bit of Marley and Me in it.
Right.
Marley and Me, Cheaper by the Dozen. These little like Home Alone.
Traditional storytelling, not filled with that's why everyone's watching streaming shows from 10 years ago.
Well, and that's also why Avatar 2 comes out and it does really well. That's, I think, the big reason why is it's just like about a family.
Turned into a family movie there for sure for like the first that
Wasn't
middle
expecting
hour.
that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Chris Gore said, that all these things are coming around. They tried to make a very niche thing like the gay buddy romance film Bros or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They tried to make a very niche thing mainstream. And I'm sorry, it doesn't mean we don't see you or acknowledge your existence or respect your fucking being, blah, 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 blah. But you're never going to be the mainstream big budget movies. Sorry. Sorry, not
but
sorry.
Like, you got to think like there have been movies like this in the past, just done well. Like you think of a movie like The Birdcage or something that came out so long ago.
Great
it's
example.
So good.
Yeah.
Birdcage is a fucking 10 out of 10. Yes,
it's a fantastic
100%.
film.
Yeah,
and it's old enough that you're like, oh, okay, now we're breaking the mold. Now we're gonna do all this shit. Now it's like, no, we've done this.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a long fucking
They've just
time.
been
Robin
done
Williams
well.
would not have been allowed to play that role under current standards because he's straight.
Speaking of straight actors playing gay characters, I recently rewatched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh God,
I was
great
doing a
movie!
live
I
stream
fucking
of it.
love that
Oh my
movie.
gosh,
That's one of my favorite movies. Val Kilmer's so good
He
in
was
that.
amazing. He's so great in that movie.
But that's why the whole thing is asinine. What are we? Okay, then no one's allowed to kill unless you've been convicted for murder. What are we doing here?
Stupid.
Is Benedict Cumberbatch a surgeon? Because I don't know if he could play Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even unless he's gone through medical school.
Say Gandalf, Ian McKellen. He's gay. He said, I don't want to be limited to not be able to play straight characters. He's also not a wizard. Spoiler, as far as I know. Those are again, and how they got in is just the most insidious.
Yeah, I mean, how did it get in?
Money.
Well,
money, greed. Now, the ultimate
are we
reason
talking
of
about
why,
how like DI stuff got in? Is that Trump?
We've seen it before.
Everybody.
It was an extreme reaction.
It does feel like he kind of triggered some weird delusion in a lot.
No, he broke a lot.
As soon as he won, like it just broke them all.
Yeah.
That and when the hell did ESG start becoming a thing?
So it was created in 2003 in the United Nations,
okay.
and it was originally supposed to be completely like Save the Trees shit. And then remember in 2008, Wall Street, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden they were like, introduce them to identity politics. That was the flip, and then we saw it in 2013, and it was all there. And then, yes, in 2016, Trump took over, and he fucking broke everyone's brains, and we've been in clown world ever since. It wasn't the CERN reactor on it.
It literally feels like we have been. That is when it
no,
feels like
that's not
things
a joke.
just went. I believe you.
And that's
the
singularity. that was the event.
It's like it was building, and his presence just pushed everything over the edge.
The identity politics was around before him.
It just ramped it up.
Sure.
And after he won, I want to say like the day or two after, I happened to get recommended this video by this British comedian Jonathan Pye. Shout out to Jonathan Pye.
He was funny.
He's terrible. To anybody who doesn't know, his shtick is being caught off the mic as a journalist. It's like, reporting live from blah blah blah. Oh Jesus.
Then he just goes on a whole rant and a tirade.
And so his rant about Trump winning was supremely on point. It's like you insert the identity politics, and then you call everybody racist, bigots, sexist. It's like, no, not everybody that voted for Trump is a racist or a sexist. Some of them are, but not all of them. And
according to Pedro Pascal, half of the country is in fact a Yahtzee and or bigot and or supporter of the national sport. Yeah, it's not...
that was a huge turnoff when he did. I used to like him, and now I'm just
well, that's the crux of Gina's lawsuit. It's not that she got fired wrongly. It's that they treated him differently than her.
They totally did. Oh, another actor who did that, which was a huge turnoff, was Jason Momoa.
Yeah, there's a couple. Mark Ruffalo, Mark Hamill.
Mark Ruffalo has
I
been
can't
that way
listen
for
to
a
anymore.
while.
Yeah, well, that's another thing about social media. It just showed us too much.
That's true.
Yeah,
it showed us too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's I can't look. Pedro Pascal, great actor. He's
a himbo.
He's okay. I'm tired of seeing him though. He's in fucking everything.
You don't buy him as Mr. Fantastic? You don't buy him as alpha male? Not that Mr. Fantastic is an alpha male.
Not unless he shaves. He can play Reed Richards if he shaves.
No,
I think he will. He will.
He's got the thing in the poster, right?
That's right. He does.
He's got like a mustache.
I was hoping that was just the concept
art.
Like
a mock-up. Yeah,
I was hoping.
Yeah, it's art. It's like, but still, you never know.
No, to me, the quintessential Mr. Fantastic was John Krasinski, who they did it wrong.
Of course they did.
You get excited for the little bit he shows up, and then, oh gosh.
You don't think they knew what they were doing?
Yeah, they completely. That was their FU to fans, actually.
That's what they always do. It's like the fans have these ideas, these fans' dream casting of characters, and most of the time they're better than what the studio gives us.
True.
And it's like, oh, you guys like him? Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
So.
Did you see Mahler's? I've watched. It's like a 7-hour. All his videos are 6 hours, but I've watched his breakdown of that one. And the Illuminati, when they're shown, they're killed in order of their privilege. Black Bolt, Mr. Fantastic, all the way down into the
until you get to the two women.
Yeah, something similar that happens in Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. By the way, just as an aside, that it's a common practice of you die in order based on your privileges and or oppression hierarchy.
Yeah.
Oh god! I mean,
Wonder Woman gets
she's like the
death,
the noble
death,
the noble, as befitting a
Batman
queen.
gets shot in the face.
Yes, God, yeah, no. But that's the thing is, once you see it, I don't even get upset anymore when you see a race swap character. It's like, yeah. What else did you do? Who's gay now? Yep. Okay. And then you just go through the checklist because the fun thing about those inclusion standards is now they have to do it. So when you hear a trailer come out, you go like, so who will the 3 out of 5 from an underrepresented group be? Go. And you watch the trailer and you're like, all right, we know who everyone is now.
I just found out that they're making a live action remake of How to Train Your Dragon, and then my first thought was like, oh god, it's about Vikings, but you know what they're gonna do.
No, they've
sure
already.
Enough,
they have.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Don't you know that first of all, this is a fictional realm. That's the first one they pull.
Of course.
This is a fictional, and then you go, but it's based on Norse mythology. It's right, but it's fictional. Don't you know, there were actual black people that were because yes, at some
Yeah,
point.
but then how do they account for the fact that they made Anne Boleyn a black woman?
But that's
Well,
the
right.
point.
One of their
They
but
say
that's the thing.
right,
Right,
and then they
It's
go
like
like,
there's
well,
this
history.
constantly moving goalpost, right?
Wakanda is
Remember
also a
Cleopatra?
fictional place.
Yeah.
It's real if you ask some of these
Right.
motherfuckers on the street. They actually think it's real. No, it's ridiculous though.
And that's how you got the whole Google AI thing,
Right.
like the
Oh,
Black George
yeah,
Washington.
Black George Washington.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, yeah.
Or Copilot, which refuses to show black people, Bing Copilot.
Right.
For the opposite, for the same reason, but on the opposite side, it's afraid of you being of the racisms.
Yeah, I mean it's and then you get stuff like from Disney, completely erasing John Boyega from
posters.
Or taking out the gay
They
kids.
shrunk him down.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just made him smaller.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
China doesn't get down with
Or they put
the Boyegas.
the mask on
Yes.
Chadwick Boseman's
Chadwick,
face.
yep.
It was a
Yeah.
terrible mask too.
And look, no company has been able to break the Chinese market. Just stop trying.
Yeah.
I agree. Stop catering to China.
No, yeah.
It's the funniest thing I've seen. There is like a mini series on Netflix with Joseph Gordon-Levitt about Uber and how he tried to come into China, and they just kept raising the subsidies to try to like price them out. It was just like the most hilarious thing.
Too
It's
many
like,
bikes.
don't even bother trying to break into this market. You get 2019's Disney Mulan remake that completely flopped in the country that it's based off of.
They have systematically ruined every single one of their all of their properties with their live action. Was there one live action that's been like, oh, that's way better?
I heard Cinderella was good, but I haven't
People
seen
like
it.
to
Cinderella
cite
was
Cinderella.
good, and Jungle Book wasn't that bad either.
Jungle
Yeah.
Book was I did see
Like the
Jungle
one where
Book.
Bill Murray was the bear.
These movies,
Yeah, that one.
Okay, I did like
they're
that
just
one.
cash grabs. Yet, like some of them have made a ton of money. Like Aladdin made $1 billion or something.
I think they all make a lot
yes,
of
But,
money.
like,
because
it's
parents are gonna
sad.
take their
Terrible.
kids.
Yeah, they look like shit. They're not even live action. Like after all the CG that's done to them, it's just like a remade animated film. So, no point.
Yeah, I mean, when I didn't bother watching it, but I downloaded it just to like see a few scenes. The live action remake of Lion King completely lacked the soul of the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the singing was garbage, and the original movie,
Yeah.
the singing was phenomenal. And it's just like, what the hell are you doing?
It's quick, easy money.
It's quick, easy money. One thing I want to bring up: Disney has never been original. They have a few here and there, but all of it, Snow White, Cinderella, all the like Robin Hood from 1973, all of it. Even The Lion King is not an original story; it's Hamlet. So they've never.
Well, it's
been
also
original.
there was an anime. I can't remember the name of it.
What, Kimba the White Lion?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That was
I've
based.
seen that.
It's like,
Saying they
yeah.
stole.
So, but speaking of Disney and original shows, I did recently watch something that they gave me to screen. It's out now. It's for kids, but it's called Iwaju, and it takes place in Nigeria, and it was actually pretty decent. And I didn't think I would like it, but they also had this documentary about how it came to be. And the reason I think it ended up being decent is because they were closely collaborating with a company in Nigeria called, I think, Kugali or something like that. And so those folks over there in Nigeria were watching over what was being done and advising them on things like, no, this would not ever be said or done here in Nigeria. And so it was just very close monitoring of what was going on. And it was a decent story. And it was from that place, organic diversity. And that's what I feel like they should do more of. Go to other places all around the world. If you want something diverse and different, it does take more effort, but you have a better product.
Yeah, but they've been pretty lazy.
Yeah. So they're not concerned with that, because if they were, they'd be making all the money. But we would have gotten Han, Luke, and Leia in a scene together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the way they did Star Wars wrong, all the legacy characters, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo. Well, all right, fine. Leia passed away, fair enough. And okay, you just stuck in a black character, whatever, Finn, or was that his name? John Boyega?
Yeah.
Finn? Yeah.
Who could have
And
been great character, but they just
Could have been
great,
they
yeah.
wasted him.
what, like, I was like, okay, great. You have a black character. What's his backstory? What's his character development? Where the hell did he come from? How did he become a stormtrooper? No, just no. Like it's completely, you're putting in this woke DEI stuff just for the ESG brownie points, and you could have a good story, but you're focusing on the wrong thing.
Right. Well, I would say the key point is it's not brownie points; it's significant amount of monies based on your score. So the higher it is, the more likely you are to get money from these investment firms that highlight that, which is a lot of them, even though if that's drying up. But Finn could have been a fine character. Look, Mace Windu and Calrissian existed. So
Right.
It's not like black people in Star Wars is new. They try to make it seem like it was new and brave and stunning and all that shit. But like, yeah, a former stormtrooper who was like conscripted as a kid, basically a child soldier, and like broke his brainwashing and all that
Right.
would have been great. And then the illusion that I thought he was going to be a student with under Luke with Rey, but shows you what I know. But then of course he's immediately killing his fellow brothers and laughing, and this has been pointed out before. But yeah, it's like all of it. It all could have been great. And he screams Rey for 3 movies, which is why.
Well, they kind of gave him an arc in the first film, and then they could have expanded on that in the next film. But they gave him the same arc in the next film.
The first one sets things up well enough, and then the sequels just
he's
squander
like
all
overcoming,
of that.
like being a coward, and then the second one, he reverts right back to what he was.
Well, they turn him even
Rianne
he's like a fucking joke in the
reverted him.
second one. He's wearing that stupid recovery suit or whatever, and it's like leaking water. It's so fucking stupid.
Glad I didn't watch that.
I mean, it's if you wanted to be lazy, and you could have plagiarized John Boyega's story. There was a memoir, I want to say in like 2017, Diary of a Boy Soldier. It was basically about an African kid that got drafted into one of the militias in Western Africa and how he got out. Fucking just plagiarize that.
If you wanted to plagiarize, you could have taken the already established expanded universe, which does have hundreds of books and comics and all of that. Instead, they just called it Legends. They ignore, of course, now they steal from it badly and pretend it's their own ideas. Shout out Dave Filoni. But they didn't even do that. They didn't even
You can't do that though because the fans like that stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
can't do it.
Well, but they can because that's why Saz Ventress is back. That's why all the things are back. All the old canon is. They're gonna watch. What? And Gary's called. He said it all along, and I didn't want to believe him. Gary from Nerd Rock. He's right. They're gonna fucking remake the original movies.
Yeah.
100%. Because they have nothing else. Watch what happens after Acolyte fails horribly.
Yeah, we got one comment coming in. I mean, we've had a lot of comments. Sorry,
John. He's very problematic. You got to be worried about this guy.
He's problematic. He's toxic. But he's saying they aren't concerned about a better product. Just buy new product, which was the Red Letter Media meme going around.
Yeah.
So it's just, nobody's questioning it. And my question is, does anybody even care about Star Wars anymore?
No.
Stopped caring a long time ago.
Wait, so Sin, you haven't seen The Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker?
Nope.
Wow.
Damn.
How do you survive on YouTube?
Talk about other things.
I'm happy for you on one level that like you haven't seen.
Well,
you haven't seen.
Yeah.
I was hearing bad things about it. For whatever reason, I just didn't end up getting to the theater. Then I started hearing bad things about it. And then all this pushback against the fans who didn't like it. And then I got tired of looking at Daisy Ridley's face as Rey. And I wanted to, like, punch it. And I was like, oh, my gosh, I'm starting to dislike her as a person because but then I saw her in The Marsh King's Daughter, and she was fine, and I liked her. I just don't like her as Rey.
They're all good.
Dislike her as Rey.
Brie Larson's good in Skull Island.
She's good in the room.
She was okay.
She won the Academy Award for so it's not that they're bad; it's how they're used. Rosario Dawson, everyone in Ahsoka's good. They're horrible in the fucking show.
Yeah.
Because Disney and all these people don't know how to make movies or TV shows.
I always thought she was going to be an excellent pick for Ahsoka. Ever since I used to watch the Clone Wars with my kid way back when.
Yeah.
And they squandered it.
Well, that could have been good casting still if the script was better, you know?
Yeah. Right, well, it could have been.
It's bad writing, essentially.
I stopped watching, like, after season 1 of The Mandalorian, when the whole thing with Pedro happened, and then Gina, I just refused to go back and watch anymore. I just didn't care.
Same, but I just stopped watching it because it was shitty.
Well,
that third season is fucking
I did
unbearable.
hear that it was shitty,
but
and so that didn't make me miss it for sure.
The end of season 2 was cool, but that's it.
It was amazing.
Yes.
Was that when Luke shows up?
Yeah. But then they completely undo it, and it's an undisclosed amount of time later. And
I've been mentioning it in like pretty much all of my videos. It's a problem with Marvel and Star Wars that they have a lot of IP to work with, and they don't plan it out. You know, Kevin Feige came in, he planned out the first 10 years of the MCU, and after that, it's like, ha ha ha, I don't have a plan. He's like fun of it. And with
even that, I'm reframing of what he actually did in that first 10, because the more you delve into those movies, fucking they didn't have any plan. They had successful movies that they sort of ran into the next. They had good creatives that made it work.
They let their creatives do their jobs.
Yes,
right. Like everyone's, Phase 1 Marvel was so great. I mean, like, there were some good movies in there, but there were also
everything was
ones.
amazing now. But
sure, in comparison,
in comparison, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the complete and utter lack of planning with the sequel trilogy.
There's nothing going on. That's the worst offense. That's why if nothing
really
else.
Is. Like, bringing Rian Johnson in, just being like, just do whatever you want. It's like, were you going to have a conversation with J.J. Abrams, or it's not going to happen?
Like, where do you want the whole story to go?
Right.
And they didn't do their job, essentially, which is why we're getting a proxy vote, and they're getting sued left and right. Gina Carano is actually getting lawyers from Elon Musk to sue for wrongful termination from Disney.
Right. That's good. I hope.
Hopefully she gets a little nice payout.
A lot.
What are there? I know Acolyte's coming in June, but like, is there anything like slated that's got a release date for after that? Like Star Wars wise?
They're making the Ray
Mandalorian
sequels.
movie.
The Ray sequels.
Right, but that nothing is like
really happening.
That's like still in the wind.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing like that's in development.
I feel like if the Acolyte just completely bombs, they'll probably not do that. They'll just take a hiatus off of Star Wars for a while. You know, like I can't see them. It's like when Rian Johnson was supposed to do his trilogy.
Yeah, it just got canceled.
Yeah,
but they announced Patty Celebration. They can't.
Oh, that's true. That's true. They have to stick to it.
And Patty Jenkins is coming back now. Apparently,
she's
like writing again,
like Rogue Squadron or something.
Yeah, hers got put on the shelf, and now she's writing again.
Okay. Yeah. I'm interested.
So I think that might be a course correction. But
saw,
no,
like, some artwork from like the N64 game they were using for it. Like, I mean, they wouldn't do a story like that. Just straight up, just follow
like
Rogue
Shadows of the Empire.
No, Rogue Squadron.
The
X-Men game from N64.
Okay. It's a good one. Yeah. And the books back in the day of Wedge in Rogue Squadrons, really, and Luke is there for a while. That's the example we used when obviously Sharmina Chinoy made her lovely comments that no matter what context and all her comments, it's just not good. And then people just blamed it on, you're just mad that a woman is going to be in Star Wars. But no one said shit when Patty Jenkins was directing the Rogue Squadron. She said it like her dad was a fighter pilot. She said very nice things. No one talked shit then.
Yeah.
No, they act like every time someone's brought in, it's like, well, you have a problem with this. It's like, no, nobody had a problem. We have a problem with the fact that she comes in and you're focusing on the fact that she's an activist over a filmmaker first. And what does that have to do with Star Wars?
She says it.
But they
says it herself,
within the company. I don't know how the hell you're going to excise that. And they're going after Nelson Peltz like hard with that Variety piece where he's like, I forget what was the quote. It's like, why do I have to have a movie?
Why do I have?
Why do I need that? I wish he hadn't said it, because every time we make fun of someone when they said it, like, I'm not saying I don't like black people, but what do I need a movie with black people? And I get what he's saying. Why does there need to be like the Marvels? And it's like, the sad thing is there is a place for the Marvels. You just marketed it horribly and you wrote it horribly, and it all could be done. There's a place for all of it. But
there's a place for
why they do it. Right. Oddly enough, there was. You could have made her a fun character, not a drunken hooer. She's very liberal and fun in the comics, not like self-hating and pathetic and sleeping with the dude after a basket of fries.
That series was written by
Jessica Chow.
It was a whole team of women, and you could tell they were. Sorry, Sid, but they were all in their 30s and like single, and like the single cat ladies, I called it in my video.
You
And
said it is for like drunken wine moms, and yeah, the women hating, and they've done it. That was the whole ending, was them
Can you
trolling
imagine?
us.
Can you imagine what it'd be like being in that writer's room? Jeez, what a fucking nightmare! Sitting there and listening to all those ideas.
We wouldn't be allowed in.
Of course not.
Maybe
But,
one of us.
man.
We'd have to act very beta and effeminate and just say yes to everything,
right.
Or just identify as one of them.
or identify as a deer folk, or
Doors will open right up.
Right.
yeah.
Which
is actually happening, by the way. We're finding out that all those like non-mandated but mandated surveys of like, what's your thing? What's your thing? You're black. You're this. You're this. And all of a sudden, queer got shot up because it's just a generic thing that anyone can say. Oh, I'm queer now. I'm non-binary now. Don't fire me or hire me. You know.
Well, the joke I make is pansexual genderqueer, which is like everything.
Yeah, you're covered. You're
All the
covered
things.
in
You're
case of
covered in
liability.
everything in the oppression Olympics.
It's
That's
bad,
I
but
want
that's
to say Barry from Nerdrotic coined that term.
he's coined a couple of them. I mean, MCU was still the gold one.
Oh yeah,
It just got proven right. Again, Kevin Feige said it. Soon there'll be more female heroes than. But he said that forever ago, 2019.
not anymore now because they canceled the third Captain Marvel. They canceled whatever was going to come out.
Eternals?
Ant-Man 4, Eternals 2, it's all...
Eternals 2, right?
Shang-Chi 2, still getting Shang-Chi 2 for some
2.
reason.
Well, that's because that caters to one other demographic, right?
Oh, that country that didn't like him because they said Simu Liu was ugly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, for Americans, we think that's a good-looking Chinese, but in China, they think he ugly.
You
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I guess we should have gotten a consultation company to tell us that that's what they think over there. Oopsie.
Yeah, and they're actually, I don't know if you guys heard, but they're actually suing content creators and the guy from the
Oh, it's Black Girl Gamers.
I Watch, which I think, Badger, if I'm not mistaken, I heard from your video.
Oh, well, I heard from part. Yeah, they're not. They're saying it's a threat. Black Girl Gamers is threatening to sue that Park Place, John F. Trent, and but that's one of those things where I thought it in my head, and then I saw Legal Mindset comment on it. Basically, like, do you know what would happen if that went? First of all, you couldn't prove the standards of like whatever they're trying to say, malice or whatever aren't. But even if it was enough to go forward with, did you know what would happen if we got discovery and we're able to look at all their emails and their hiring policies, which upon further investigation, it's all password protected, like to see what their actual standards and practices for hiring people. You can't actually see it because it's probably illegal. So yeah, I ain't worried about being sued by Black Girl Gamers, and I don't think that Park Place is either, or anyone else covering them.
But I mean, this actually shot Nerdrotic and the Critical Drinker into like the mainstream when they got on Pierce Morgan. It's like, oh shit, like they're now the mainstream.
That's right. He was on.
Well, that, and they were asking him about the Oscars and why Barbie didn't win more. But that just goes to show you that, yeah, if you think we're just a couple of dummies, I mean, we all might be dummies on YouTube, but if you think the idea of us talking about it on YouTube it's not. It's way more mainstream. The mainstream of everything has shown themselves to be untrustworthy. And so here we are. Remember, we said in the beginning, authenticity is all anyone really cares about anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's what leads to Critical Drinker and Gary being on Pierce Morgan.
Yeah. I mean, every one of them is killing it. Nerdrotic just hit 1 million. I don't know if is the Drinker over
close. Yeah, he's real close to 2.
Yeah, but I mean, they're growing. Joe Rogan, the dude
That's
Chris Williamson.
Yeah.
They're authentic. They think through things. They actually are humble enough to say, hey, I know that I don't know everything, but I want to learn. And that goes a long way with just the common folk.
Yeah, who is tired of just being preached to and seeing everything come out, and the normal people when they look at the TV commercials and it's very telling, and everyone sort of notices it.
Yeah, I mean, with the NFL, this is the way I explained it. Who is the primary audience of the NFL? It's your working class dude who just wants to have a beer, no longer Bud Light, I'm sure Core's stock shot up, and he had a hard day at work. He got injured maybe, so his back is hurting him. He just wants to watch a fucking football game and not be preached to. And then you get a guy like Colin Kaepernick, who, granted, like they did him wrong, but there's a time and a place for your activism, and on the field during a national anthem for the country you live in is not the place.
Yeah. It was annoying when people would make speeches at the Oscars and bring it up, and it's fucking annoying when they do it in sports events, and it's annoying when they do it in TV shows with people wearing spandex. Stop it. You want politics, make a YouTube channel and talk about politics, but stop putting it. But obviously we know why they do it, because no one wants to listen to them talk about it or any of their ideology, so they have to take our popular shit and put it in that. So we're forced to watch it, which is what the whole video game thing is. So we have nowhere to escape, because that's what they want. They want us to have nowhere to escape.
Senator.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! Oh,
that's why Anthony Mackie doesn't like you to walk up to him and be like, on your left.
Yeah, it's funny.
You need to do better, Mackie.
You need to do better, Senator.
Yeah.
That moment, I referenced that moment in
He
my
does.
little short review of the American Society of Magical Negroes. That there was a moment at the end that felt so much like that, except it lasted so much longer. That was the movie. That was the movie.
How was that movie?
That was the movie that Chris Gore's group. We all went to go see 2 Thursdays ago.
Wow.
Nice.
And Latino Slant was there. Chris Gore was there. Dante from Verbal Riot, got to meet him. That was great. Nobody in that group liked it. We all hated it.
Yeah, I mean, even from the trailer, it was pandering.
It was very pandery. It was mean-spirited.
It's painful.
It was extremely
mean-spirited is the one that
extremely divisive. Now, and also it didn't make sense that it was taking place in today's time.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
If
you had set this in the 1800s.
Yeah,
or something like that.
I still would have not liked it, because I'm really tired of all of this divisiveness, and I'm so sick of it. But it would have made logical sense.
Were you the only group in the theater?
No, there were quite a few people there,
Really?
and there were some laugh out loud moments, but it was just the whole package was terrible. It was just.
There were 3 other people in there when we saw it.
I know there was probably maybe our theater was 25 to 30% full.
Wow.
Yeah,
It
the
was one
box
of the
office
bigger
opening
runs.
weekend was, I think, 1.2.
It
I think
barely
it pulled.
made that.
Barely,
I was
yeah.
glad to see that it.
And then it had like
well.
a 90% fall off.
We'll get
going into
more.
the
Like, you
next-
could tell that movie was greenlit at the height of like Summer of Love.
A few years. It was made a couple years.
Right, so
It
we'll
was
get,
shelved
that's
for
what I'm
like
saying.
2
We'll get
years.
more of that, of like the things that they can't either. We're gonna get a bunch of Batgirls where like everyone just cancels it and like takes the tax credit, or they're gonna pull a bunch of Echoes where they just release it all at
my
once, or
gosh,
just release
Echo
it onto a
is so
streaming.
bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's gonna get worse, is because they're all done. They need to come out at some point.
Yeah.
Captain America 4. It's coming.
So it's been reshot so many. It's like 5 bunch of
They just
reshoots.
reshot the whole movie again.
At least 3 times that I'm aware of. Like,
Oh my
Harrison Ford
goodness.
must be murderous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot he's in that.
They need to just CGI his
And
face.
no
in it.
Bucky.
They're
No
going
Bucky
to.
in the entire Captain
I'm
America.
He's not
pass.
in it?
No.
Pass.
How?
That's what they just announced. That it's going to be the new sidekick is his new Latinx.
Oh, God.
I don't use that term. I'm using it here as a joke. But yeah, he's got it's like the new version, because
Oh, they did Bucky so
Black sidekick
dirty.
wasn't enough. Now they got the Latino sidekick.
They did Bucky dirty.
Oh, they did. Look, if you want to give Falcon, even though he was his own original strong black male character, he didn't need to have a hand-me-down, but they only see legitimacy in white characters, so that's fine. Winter Soldier is the one that doesn't have a name anymore. Bucky he can't use Winter Soldier
he's not
anymore
Winter
'cause he's
Soldier
not a
anymore.
killer. He could, but he needed the redemption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He
of course,
literally
it
has
made
nothing
sense,
to
so
do
they
now.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the point. They don't want anything for him to do because he's male and pale, stale, and we need diversity.
Like the storyline they gave him in Falcon and Winter Soldier was him going around on the apology tour,
Yeah.
finding all the people who were affected by, the kills, and he could have had that same story if they wanted to do that as he becomes Captain America, because now he's got that conflict to deal with as being Captain America and this crazy past, and Falcon could have still just been Falcon.
It was the
Right.
cops pulling
Like, they
them
w-
over in the street for me.
Oh,
Remember that?
was, and you know what was
And he
really
couldn't get a
dumb about that?
loan, and
It was
Tony
his
Oh,
didn't
that
give
was
them
so
money
stupid.
before he
It was
died.
his
There was no
own
foundation.
neighborhood.
I hate
The
it so
Falcon
much.
couldn't
It
get a
was
loan.
so bad. It was
By
so
the way,
terrible.
written by
That was the
people
worst
that
scene.
didn't watch the movies and didn't read the that's why. It's
Like, that guy
we
could have
have-
started a
I
GoFundMe and
swear.
raised the money in 10 minutes.
Bro, you're telling me the cops don't know who fucking Falcon is? He saved the world. Like the bank isn't gonna. It's acid. That's the point. Is like you can't even get upset anymore. It's just funny.
Yeah.
I don't, because if you're not laughing, you're crying. I don't know what to do.
I'm still at that mad stage. It still pisses me off.
The
Like,
stages
it's
of
just
grief.
so unnecessary.
God, Winter Soldier was such a great character.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that show so much, and then I hated it.
Oh, it was such a
Hated it.
letdown.
It was such a I thought it was going to be the transition where Bucky
Careful with that word.
gets a shield, and then it just
Right, no, he's just been chilling in Wakanda for the
I
last
thought it was gonna
8
be Lethal
movies.
Weapon.
Yeah, well, it could have
What-
been.
Sorry,
It
I
could've
wanted
been
Lethal
great.
Weapon in the Marvel universe. I wanted them talking shit to each other while like solving a crime or something.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah, because
Nope.
their relationship in the actual films was great.
Yeah. Because that's a
In,
super
like, Civil
awkward
War or
dynamic
Winter
where you
Soldier.
both have a friend that you're more friends with than each other, and then that friend isn't around, and you have to become, and then like that's a super dynamic that has happened before, and they could have done that, and they just
Oh, and
Sorry,
then
we
they
gotta
made
make
the
this a
villain,
thing.
you know, the terrorist. You're supposed to feel sorry for
Orange
them.
Jesus, Orange
and
Fern
then,
Jesus.
Yes,
Orange
that
yeah.
chick.
Jesus.
And
Orange
then
Jesus.
the chicks from Wakanda, they have no jurisdiction. They can just go anywhere and do whatever the hell they
just
want.
touch him once, and his arm falls off. And,
Yeah,
On your knees, white man.
it's so funny
he's
because
still he's still super strong. Like he
Yeah.
can still take him out without the arm.
so with the representation of the villain in that series, I actually went to high school with a kid. He had some sort of condition. We basically called him BKOH, black kid, orange hair.
It sounds like a variant of albinoism, possibly a touch of the albinoism in the hair.
A little bit, yeah. And it's just like, oh shit, that's who they're pandering to. What I coined the term hyper minority, something so minuscule. How many of them actually exist?
Well, have you also noticed who most of their, I hate to say it, but it's like they choose the whitest black person they can find in almost
Right.
every way. It's the unspoken racism that only like dark-skinned
Yes.
black people will talk about.
Right.
That there's a separate racism against dark-skinned black people, and that they'll always just be like, well, white people will accept the light-skinned ones. And if you notice, from Feckle Jesus to every main character, every Kim Belair, CEO, Sweet Baby Inc. insert, they all look the same. They're just a non-offensive, white-sounding, a little bit more melanated than a tan white person, but it counts to them as black inclusion. And it's
Justice
the worst.
Smith and Magical
Yeah.
Negroes.
Yeah.
It's like the least of.
Yes, that's the point.
He's just
That's
like basically a white hipster from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's laughable when you point it out, and then like, yeah, it's just very funny
Yeah, I mean it's
and undeniable because you could see it everywhere. Yeah.
I mean BlackRock kind of started veering away from the whole ESG thing, but now they're calling it they're
Bridge.
calling it something else.
Bridge is the new one.
What's Bridge?
I forgot the exact acronym, but it's essentially just ESG with a new bunch of words on it. But it's going to be the same thing. It's just supposed to be targeted more to an international. I've still got my weaponized autistic friends looking into it, but they're calling it something else now. But it's not going away. It's just coming in a new packaging.
So more lazy race and gender swaps.
If they find a way to do it, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I know that Badger, you talked about this. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
Great movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah. Can you guess what it looks like now?
I saw a picture of the poster and immediately was not interested.
Yeah.
Oh God, they're remaking that.
Oh,
I
you
haven't
haven't
even
You
asked
didn't
you.
Yeah, they
know
just had a
this?
trailer
No,
that came out
I'm
too.
not,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna look it up. Hold
It's
up.
coming out in theaters. Is
Yeah.
it not? I think it's already out. I've seen it on my
What?
Regal app. I
They're
could
black
tell
now.
it was one
They're
of those.
black now.
It
Yeah.
was one of those, those remakes.
yeah, I mean, it's a complete lack of originality, and it's lazy. It's just lazy. It's just straight up lazy.
It's
Oh,
second.
It is
God.
absolutely lazy.
Holy shit!
This is what we needed.
So until this is called out, by the group that it's targeted as is like, this is lazy pandering. We don't want this. Stop it.
Some
It's
people
not going to
have,
stop.
but some
Some have,
people in
but they
that
get called
group
Uncle
have,
Toms
and
or
they, yes,
self-hating. Yeah, yeah.
yes, that's exactly what happens.
Or
They
you
get
call it out
treated
and you
like
get called
absolute
women-hating.
crap. Yeah,
It's a
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
BET
original
original.
film.
I have
Yeah.
internalized misogyny. You
Right.
know, all
A
of
lot of
that
that going
stuff.
around.
I'm waiting for the Cool Runnings remake with a white cast.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Kiss
Or,
the egg, Sanka.
Chris
I'd
Pratt
watch
as
it.
Rosa Parks.
Oh, there
Right.
we go. Bridge. Benchmarking race, inclusion, and diversity in global engagement. Shout out problematic.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just the same thing. It's just the same thing. And now the same wolf, different sheep, clothing.
Ugh.
That's terrible. I mean, so what do you guys think about the Disney proxy fight? Like, is Nelson Peltz going to win out? I know that Badger, you've done a couple of videos on it. I've done a couple of videos on it. Uh, what is the probability here of getting those two board seats? I know that as a very measly, shareholder, I already voted, and it's funny because when you get the proxy statement, it says, "Do you want to vote for or against?" And it's like Bob Iger, and then you get a board recommendation to vote for Bob Iger. It's like, all right, anything the board says, I'm against. Just against, and then boom, pro Nelson Peltz. I'm putting it all out there. My vote, my vote is very minuscule. I don't own that as much as Vanguard and BlackRock do. If I own that much, I don't know if I'd be here. But I'm rooting for Nelson Peltz.
Yeah, we are. But George coming out. First of all, before that, they had all those propaganda trailers of don't vote for the Treon Group's recommendation and amateur this, and it's not for amateur. And then, of course, all the hit pieces calling Nelson Peltz an amateur. And then, unfortunately, George came out and said making magic isn't for amateurs, which echoes that statement. And Bob Iger's done all his dirty, dark magic to get plenty of proxy lawyers and investment groups to back him. So yeah, does Treon have 3.5 billion worth of collected stocks? They do. Is that enough to overcome everyone else, including George, who's the largest single? I don't know. I'd love to. I don't think they're going to get their board seats. It's only 2 out of 12 on the board, and I don't think Nelson Peltz and Jay Brazulo are going to get it. I hope they do, though. Hope I'm wrong. We'll find out.
And we know who BlackRock's going to vote for. And they own how much of the company?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just know
it's not nothing. I know that.
I know the board members have sold like 90% of their stock. Iger has sold like 90% of his stock. So
I mean,
they barely have like 12 million amongst all of them together.
Yeah, I mean, after losing so much, so let's tally it up here. Ant-Man 3, the Marvels.
Are you just doing 2023? Because I remember the infographic.
Just 2023.
1.3 billion was the conservative just for their movies, and the only one that made money was Guardians, and that's probably higher now. So it's probably more like 1.4 or 5 of just their movies.
Losses. It's got to be more than that.
Yeah. Well, no. Now you want to start talking about Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Add another like 7 billion for a couple years combined. Yeah. No, it's bad. It's bad.
I mean, how long can you sustain running a business operating so many losses, unless you're like the Federal Reserve,
what I would assume their parks still bring in a huge chunk of change to keep them okay.
Yeah, California, their Florida one is down a little bit. They just capitulated and sort of lost that thing when in Florida, their special privileges.
Yeah, you just did a video on that.
Yeah, word of mouth is going down, so people are going to Universal instead of them because it's all translating. So, like all things, I just don't think they can take this much longer, which is why they're sort of saying they're course correcting without saying they were wrong. That corporate speak of like we're retooling, creative reset, which means we fucking fired everyone.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't fired everyone yet, and that's
well, like for Daredevil Born Again, they said we did a creative reset. It's like, well, yeah, they fired the director and the writer and everyone else, and then they hired a new creative team. So they're on some, they're sort of trying. I don't know what makes them try on some and not try on others.
Who still likes this crap? Because like when I put out my Echo review, that was just, I mean, that show was it was painful to get through.
No. It was brave.
Oh my
Stunning
gosh.
and brave.
Yeah.
I only saw they sent me the first 3 episodes and I had zero interest to finish it, and I heard what happened in the final episode and it was so, oh my goodness. It sounds so terrible. I'm so glad I didn't. I hated it. What they did to Kingpin was disgusting. It's exactly what they did to him in Hawkeye. They turned him into this pansy-fied crybaby.
Right.
And Echo, like, the reason I didn't like Hawkeye was because I didn't like the Hawkeye chick and I didn't like Echo. And that's
Haley
what the show was.
Steinfeld.
I didn't like her. I don't
Yeah.
care for her anyway as an actor.
Oh,
She's
see, I
a-
liked her
she-
far better than. Like I didn't
Echo?
find her at least insufferable, and like she wasn't disrespectful to Hawkeye. She liked.
Right,
that
Yeah.
she
guy.
did.
You know,
And
at
she,
least
and
for
she
that.
does
did.
fail. She does fail quite a bit
Right.
in
Yeah,
the show. She
I
was
didn't-
just
I
like a
didn't
little
like her.
too bubbly for you know,
Right.
the
But
situations
Echo
they
was
were
just
in.
and then they made a whole freaking show around Echo? Why?
And then
Well,
changed
you
the,
know
like,
why,
the root of her
because-
powers.
I know why, but it was
Yeah,
terrible. It was absolutely awful.
And it could have been great, but you hired they literally only hired her. She heard about the roll call, the casting, and she showed up.
yeah.
She's Indian and she's missing a leg and she's deaf. Now the
Perfect,
leg part was
hire her.
extra. Yes, that's it. And then they were like, "Yeah,
And
we'll work
she's
with her."
she's a terrible actor. She
she's
was
not very
terrible.
good.
No,
No.
she was awful.
Yeah,
And
it could
I
have been done
mentioned-
great.
I
but-
mentioned in my review maybe it was good that she didn't vocalize, because then it would have made it even more obvious that she was
Probably,
a
yeah.
terrible actor.
Yeah,
But she was bad. She couldn't pull off, like, she always had this scowly look on her face, and I didn't like her. I didn't-
RBF.
Yeah,
resting.
that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Really likable.
it's a common problem. Yeah, but the thing is, then you see them like on the behind the scenes or at the red carpet. She's beautiful. She did seem very nice. She did seem very fun. So it's like, what did they do to these people on set or behind the scene to make them that unlikable? And it's and then I'm going to answer my own question. It's the writers. It's the people
Yeah,
because
it's
the
the way
people
There's
she's
only
writing
written.
this
one
are
note in the
unlikable.
script, and it says stoic female.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, everybody has to be stoic now because of stoicism is making a comeback on YouTube and social media.
Yeah, but going away in video games based on that last Xbox thing is that does your character not emote enough? Does it have logs? Or now I guess they're going to make all the men very super effeminate and share feelings. No more Kratos. No more stoic Commander Shepards.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Make up your minds.
It's gonna keep going because the development cycles are long. So we've got until 2034 by my count of this crap. At least in games, movies. I think we're just about emerging from all this crap. You know, starting with Top Gun, which I know me and Sin talked about already. You've gotten releases that some flew completely under the radar. I know mine and Sin's number one pick for last year was The Covenant.
The Covenant.
I mean,
Excellent
that
movie.
deserved an Oscar.
Love
Like,
Yeah,
that
I'll agree
movie.
with that. Yeah, that was a dope movie. I put that right up there with Saving Private Ryan and like
Yeah.
all
So
Black
good.
Hawk Down and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that How to Blow Up a Pipeline, I loved. And that was indie, completely indie. And I know
A lot of
Sin,
indies are churning out. I mean, we're getting
Yeah.
better product from independent filmmakers.
and I mean, essentially Neon and A24 are becoming the large studios now.
Yeah.
You gonna watch
Yeah.
Civil War?
Oh, don't forget Blumhouse. Don't forget Blumhouse.
You know,
Yeah,
I
Blumhouse.
actually did buy a ticket to Civil War. I've heard that it's not exactly what you think, but I don't know. What I've heard about it before that made me think, oh, this is just going to be your typical certain narrative about certain types of people.
Yeah.
About a
Right.
certain day in January.
Right.
Who a
Yeah.
certain president
So,
is
listen,
being dragged
but you
out
know
of the
what?
office. Yeah.
We were hearing that sort of narrative about The Hunt, and that's not what The Hunt was not.
True.
Well, I don't know.
like
You got
that.
Jesse Plemons being, his weird self.
What
Yes.
and,
kind
Like,
of American
He's
are
to
you?
show up for Jesse Plemons.
What does he say? Who are you guys? We're Americans. And he's
But
like,
what type
what
of
kind of American?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Just say a proud one. Just say
Right.
a proud
I don't
one.
know.
gosh.
I'd like to give Garland the benefit of the doubt. With
Yeah,
I love Ex Machina, but his other
Yeah.
two,
oh, did you see what was it, Devs?
no, I haven't seen that yet. You said it's
Oh,
good.
I liked
though.
it.
Yeah,
I
I
thought it
haven't
was
seen
pretty
that
good.
either. I've heard
Yeah,
it's good.
the Nick Offerman show.
I mean, I guess we should count Dredd as well because supposedly he did kind of direct it, even though,
You talking
Dredd
about the
is
Carl
great.
Urban one?
yeah,
Dread's
That
pretty
was a good
yeah.
movie.
I love that movie.
Dredd is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's the raid, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
well,
That's fine.
That's
He
fine.
added and a strong female character who's not body slamming everyone, who's flawed but still
Yeah.
has agency and blah blah
Yep.
blah. All the fucking
Mhm.
buzzwords they love
They
that
did
are
all that
there if
right.
you're talented.
Yeah.
Yeah. Olivia Trilby.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Good movie. Yeah. See, it can be done. It just takes effort, but that's the point. They don't want to put the time and effort. They just want to get your. It's not put a chicken and make her gay. It's put your DEI and inclusion in it and make it lame. That's all they care
just-
about getting it
They
in.
don't want to make it normal.
No, because they don't want heteronormative. They want to destroy the nuclear. They're very open about it. That's the other thing. Yeah,
Right.
it all boils down to just neo-Marxism weirdness of the.
Yes.
That's why to see a romantic comedy come back is refreshing. Because two
Yeah.
straight people. That's
Right.
shocking.
Yeah.
That's been demonized the last. That's just what it is. We shouldn't be ashamed. Not that I am, because clearly, but the normal everyday people should not be ashamed to say that.
Yeah.
That it's okay to have. It's okay to be. I hate the fact that that's a thing that people go around. It's okay to be white. I know.
Yeah, I know that. It's okay to be anything. but-
Right, that's the point. I
talking
love
about
that we judge people based on the content of their character, not their skin, and that is apparently now racist. It's
Yeah.
all the '90s were all the black TV shows I grew up watching and movies that apparently didn't happen, and we
Right.
needed all this DEI.
I used to love Family Matters.
Parenthood, yeah, we go through
Martin.
every sister, Hanging with
Oh,
Mr.
Martin.
Living Single. I used to watch all these shows. Martin,
Yeah.
even
Living
Will
Color.
before he cucked himself. Yes, in
Living
West
Color
Philadelphia,
was
born
great.
and
Oh,
raised.
Living Color was fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Everybody
all
I knew loved Fresh Prince.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Yeah, there was no scared white people watching. Like we were all fine. Like I
No,
don't.
That's just it. They had like the black shows and like the black movies, but everyone would still watch them back then.
Yeah.
And you'd enjoy them.
Friday's it's one of my favorite
Yeah.
Oh,
movies.
Friday's fantastic.
Everyone,
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood and all the fun. Don't be a menace. Like even the joke movies.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We had it. We had it. We had a golden age. I realized.
Yeah, I mean the 80s, 90s, and the aughts were as good as we got.
That's why Sin made this point earlier to begin. That's the point, though. There's nothing left for them to complain about.
Yeah.
So they had to make all that shit revisionist.
Like,
all of a
it's
sudden,
too
Jennifer
easy.
Lawrence became the first female movie star, and Underworld and all those things didn't exist, and all these other movies didn't exist. Now we need DEI to force it in because we never. It's the weirdest, most Berenstain Bears revisionist trap. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone grew up in two different realities.
Yeah, I mean, when somebody called me out, on my X-Men '97 video, saying like, "Oh, you're delusional about hating the Disney Plus shows," it's like, are we living in two different like realities, like planes of existence?
So have all of the episodes of X-Men 97 dropped? Because all I saw was
Weekly.
the first 3.
Just three.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
weekly.
so the first 3 were fine to me, and then of course I did see a clip of some other stuff that happens later. I did hear it was confirmed that Morph is non-binary, even though he's not really in the comics.
Oh, he's not binary. Oh, when he walks in the shower, where he thinks Wolverine is in the shower, and asks him if he needs help reaching some of the hard to reach places. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
does that happen in the first 3
No,
episodes?
no, because
Okay, so
fucking
see, this
Morph
is
is
why I
straight.
didn't-
He's not non-binary. He's a
Right.
male-presenting straight man who can
Right.
switch shapes.
Right, and I know that, but
Yeah.
they
Well,
have
they don't. They
intentionally
lied. Yeah.
changed him, and
Yeah.
of course, everybody's a transphobe if you don't like that or whatever nonsense
Right.
crap they
I
say.
made the joke that's becoming real that Wolverine gets drunk and Morph changes into Jean for him, does him a solid, and that is becoming a reality based on the in jokes in the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
And I mean, I don't know if anybody else caught it in the 3rd episode, but that gigantic vagina.
No, maybe I'm coded to
I
not stare for
definitely
those
did
things
not
anymore.
catch-
So she's
That.
Gray is in like the astral plane, fighting Madeline Pryor, and you get a gigantic. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't
No,
even
I
notice
didn't
that.
risk. No, I didn't notice it. I did
the
notice we
baby
got
is coming through it. So,
we got boobs.
yeah.
Oh, I
The
remember
evil
the-
version of the character though, which I was
Yeah,
surprised.
well, yeah, the chicks were hot looking. And
Only because
everything.
they've made some of the characters rather flat and not as good looking as they were originally. So I was like, oh, so you can do
Yeah.
it. If this is good, I have a feeling we might see a reality where the fans petition them to have Bo DeMeo come back. Because he already wrote the second, if it finishes out really strongly. Because if it keeps doing the weird little.
Did it ever come
Yeah.
out why he was fired?
Okay, so I've really looked into this, and they say it's because he had a non-nude OnlyFans, But then what I've heard is apparently it was. Either way, that seems weak to me. So I always thought it was maybe he has some sort of like Me Too and or like a domestic violence type of Jonathan Majors type thing. But if it's just OnlyFans, which is what it seems to be, that's a dumb reason to get rid of someone.
He came out as conservative.
Well, watching this, it might be possible. I could entirely reframe all of X-Men to say that the dumb little non-binary shit and other things isn't Bo. It's the required DEI things, and that Bo is the only reason that I don't know. I'm just saying, if I was his lawyer and he paid me enough, I could reframe it to that's really why he was fired.
Yeah, because like his social media went down. Like it was like
it's a complete blackout.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, you're shutting down good writers, good directors in lieu of this. You know, like you said, it's money. I call it ESG brownie points to get money. Yeah. And it's just it's something that has to stop. And X-Men 97, not that bad so far. I haven't heard or read anything from the later episodes. Cautiously optimistic, but
did you see the clip when Cyclops is fighting with some guy, and the guy he's fighting with is basically sounds like he's parroting, you know, how they make fun of. Okay, so Cyclops, mutant. Why do you always have to pretend you're the victim? Us normal people, us humans, we're victims too. We've had it hard.
Yeah.
I saw this clip and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's one of those things I said. It's like everything that was said could and would be said in a X-Men comic or cartoon. But when you know it's written by a gay black man in 2024, it just hits differently. But if you divorce yourself from who wrote it and take it in just the context in which it's delivered, it's not all right. But it's really hard to do that because pattern recognition. And he also probably meant it the way it comes across.
Yeah.
I mean, the X-Men has always been woke ever since like 19.
I hate that term.
Well, I mean,
no, it hasn't.
Yeah, I'm with you, Badger. It's not that, but X-Men unfortunately is the one thing that the SJWs always go back to, and they say, "Oh, just look at X-Men."
Stan Lee disputed that.
Right. I know. That's what I was going to say.
I mean, like
civil rights stuff being
traditional woke.
Yeah,
traditional social awareness woke. Sure, I'll give you that one.
Yeah, but even that stuff isn't like always prescribed. It's not left-wing policies necessarily.
Magneto is not Malcolm X. And Martin Luther King is not Professor Xavier. Stan Lee has said on video that was the furthest, his terminology, that the civil rights movement was the furthest thing from his mind. Mutants were created because he was tired of coming up with origin stories for their powers. Yeah. So he came up with mutants, and they were meant to be misfits which are nerds and comic book readers. And sure, if you want to be gay, you can throw that in there, or prejudice against black. It's applicable to them, but it was not the original source to make it. Now, what the SJWs say is, well, just because he made it, it's been 60 years of comics. Yeah. At some point, did some activist writers come in and specifically? Yes, they did. But that's also their dirty little trick. Is in the last 10 years, they've written a lot of comics that insert their. So that when we complain, they go, "Well, it's in the comics," but the unpopular ones that been rebooted like 4 times.
Yeah. Well,
looking at you, Captain Marvel.
I don't even look. There's lots of things that I like in the past that does have politics in it. That does have left-wing politics in it, but. Progress does not equate to good. You know what I mean? And so right now, the current kind of SJW sphere that we're into, it just sucks. And so
it's like when they say Star Wars always had politics. It's like, what we mean by politics. It had traditional, not modern day gender and identity.
They're just being willfully ignorant when they say things like that.
Yeah. It's gaslighting.
Of course,
it's very distant. But that's the other thing. It's like how they don't want to have conversations with us. They want us to just be, you just don't like Star Wars because Han Solo gave the Millennium Falcon to a girl, bro.
Yeah, it's annoying because obviously everyone that's complaining, we all love the movie Aliens. You know what I mean? Like we have no problem with strong female characters.
Terminator.
Gina Davis in The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh my God,
The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Kate Beckinsale, because everyone says Ripley and Sarah Connor, and I feel like it's becoming so. There were other ones.
It is, but I mean, the reason the Long Kiss Goodnight isn't the first thing that comes to mind all the time is because it's not one of those huge ones. But that's a good.
A Woman
movie.
and a Black Man. It has everything they would want. If it came out now, we'd call it woke.
Film.
Yeah.
But it was done with good intentions and clever writing.
Well, Right,
Well, there's
exactly.
no comment. Yeah, there's no commentary about current,
Right.
Right.
racial
Yeah,
or
they don't have
or sex
messaging
dynamics.
inserted. Like I have mentioned before multiple times, 20 years ago when they did a race swap or a gender swap, it didn't mean anything because
Oh, I defend
you
one all
did
the time.
you didn't like sense that there was something behind it. Now, that's
Yeah.
automatically where my brain goes to. Oh,
Yeah.
there's
It
some sort of
used to be it
agenda
was the
going
best
on.
person for the
Right.
role.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. I defend
Right.
his. Say what you want about that Daredevil movie.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, that was
Vincent
good.
D'Onofrio
Kingpin.
was busy. He was filming whatever that Law and Order
Yeah.
was. Michael Clark Duncan was a big, strong, powerful man that conveyed the gravitas, not to steal a fucking word, of, and I love him in that role. And it wasn't done as a message or anything like that. So yeah,
He fit the
race
role.
swapping's
He was
fine if done for the
big-ass
right
black-
reasons.
Right.
Big ass guy.
Yeah,
The Kingpin's supposed to be.
yeah.
And did anyone care when Nick Fury?
No one gave a
Like
shit.
Samuel
No
one gave
Jackson
a
was
shit.
perfect in that
I
role.
think
Loved it.
didn't they also change him in the comics?
Yeah, they did it in
They
the
did,
alternate
yeah,
universe.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and like even
Yeah.
so, let's say even as close as 2013, the first Equalizer came out.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that character was race swapped, but well, I didn't
Everyone
know
loves
it at the
Denzel.
time. Right, I
Denzel's
didn't
great.
know it
Now
at
the TV show
time.
with Queen Latifah.
Oh yeah, I haven't been too interested to see that, but I've heard it's okay, but I haven't been too interested to see that.
But don't you
yeah,
want to
so-
see women starring in roles? Isn't this? I'm not understanding. They keep making these for women, and the women are saying no.
They're
That's
not
weird.
making it for the right type of woman, I guess. I don't
People
know.
would see Barbie, but they didn't go see the Marvels. I don't understand.
I didn't go see Barbie because I wasn't interested, and what I've heard about it has convinced me that I'm still not interested.
I mean, so my fair, unbiased review of Barbie is that it was a movie geared.
It was a movie.
It was a movie. Yeah, it was a movie.
It exists.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Geared towards one specific group, women, but the story-wise, it was. If this was an essay, which Greta Gerwig basically did, a live-action essay, it like I didn't even know what the hell the thesis was. It kept going back and forth, and I'm like, what argument are you trying to make?
I've heard it was unironically based. That if you pay attention to the actual message, it ends up being like, patriarchy's not so bad, or something at the end of it. I don't know.
I have
It
heard
was
John
Ryan Gosling.
Campea or something was making arguments along those lines that it was really saying this other thing that I don't know. I feel like maybe.
Oh well, I don't want to agree with John Campea.
Yeah, seriously. No, but
I take back what I said.
I mean,
agree.
I haven't seen it. I've heard about this monologue that America Ferrera gives.
Oh yeah, that.
I thought about doing a reaction to that just so that I can vomit all over it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no interest in that movie.
My point is that's a movie that you do market to the women that went to see it, and they all wore pink, and it turned into a thing. Like that's great,
Yeah.
but you don't go. That's built for that. But you don't. And Chris Gore's talked about this. Look, the reason Disney originally bought Disney really originally bought Star Wars and Marvel was because they were boy brands, and they wanted more boys to come into their girl brands, which is what Disney was, Disney princesses. And then unfortunately, because all they knew how to do this in conjunction with all the DEI stuff, Disney only knew how to make stuff for girls, and so they immediately turned it into a girl brand. That's how their marketing turned it into an inclusion, and then the inclusions just ramped that up. And that's why Chris has that famous tweet that pisses everyone off every time he says it, that the biggest, costliest mistake Disney will ever have is turning those two franchises into girl brands, because you just can't, just like you couldn't go into Barbie and turn it into a boy brand. It wouldn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah, you're trying to market to an audience that doesn't exist.
Right.
Who watches comic book movies? Who was into comic books? I know not a single female human that was ever into actual comics.
Let's say sin would be
growing up. Like
I used to read them growing up. That was my entertainment. I had no TV, you guys.
Yeah,
So
we can start this off with the hashtag not all.
right. Yeah.
not all women. Yeah. There are women like me, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
know
but
you say that we weren't open.
but that's the problem though, is because this thing is made for like this particular. These comic books are made for young boys who can't have that, So it's social engineering.
Right, of course.
Well, that's why
yeah.
they've taken out all of our legacy character heroes from Luke to pick one that survived, that wasn't made a drunken, pathetic old person. That's why Top Gun was so refreshing, because it was like, oh, Maverick's not a POS, and he's actually using his knowledge and experience to teach these young pups who I actually
Exactly.
like.
And he
He's
was
not
like
a
to see and
sad
see.
sack of shit.
He was a better pilot than all of them. So yeah,
Bro, I
Yeah.
guess I'm a simple man, and that's all you need to do
Such
is
a
just
good
not
movie.
attack me. Just have someone that I looked up to still be someone I could look up to. Yeah, but they don't want us to have heroes. That's a whole thing.
They don't want to.
Indiana Jones. That was
Oh.
sad.
yeah.
They don't want to defer to experience.
When he was laying in his recliner naked,
Oh god.
Oh,
That
at the very
sums up the
beginning?
whole film.
Doesn't
that
it?
Like
one
a little,
shot.
little fan on him, like
and I
sweating.
always ask people, I was like, are you really happy with that? Like the same people that like, oh, The Last Jedi was fine. I was like, really?
Really?
That's how you're all right with Luke having that ending? You're all right with Han? It's like, or Indy or any of them. It's
So the moment I stopped watching, what was the second one? The Last Jedi? That was the
Yes.
second one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The moment I stopped watching that movie was when Luke threw his lightsaber over his
so right
shoulder.
at the
Oh,
beginning.
It's like-
the opening scene.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I can't.
All safe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
God.
enough for me.
So I think we all lied to ourselves about what those movies. We kept saying, "Oh well, he's setting something up for the next one, or it'll be explained in this." And
I gave
That's the big lie.
I gave Force Awakens a lot of leeway because
Me too.
because I'm like, well,
All right,
yeah,
where are
there's-
they going?
They're just planting little things here and there. Let's see what happens in the next one.
Yeah, it's clearly a planned out trilogy.
Right. Clearly.
them making everything Legends was the first one that really turned me off. But at the time, remember Marvel was going. I was like, okay, yeah, it's fine. They'll take some of the best parts and they'll adapt it, and Luke will still be married, and they'll do all the best things from it. And then they didn't do any of it, and then Luke didn't show up in the first one. I'm like, okay, no, but he'll show up in the second one, and then that was the second
I
one
thought
broke me.
I thought he was going to show up at the end of Force
too.
Awakens.
So did Mark
when they were
Hamill,
having that
apparently,
and
with
it's
the
like-
lightsaber.
It would have been
He's
awesome.
pulling it. Yeah. So did he thought that's what he came in. I thought he would sense it in the Force because there's not supposed to be a lot of Force users. So he
Yeah.
would have. Nope. Again, we know more than the people writing the shit. JJ is on record saying he basically only likes 1.5 Star Wars movies. He doesn't like the prequels. He doesn't like Return of the Jedi. He finds the first episode 4. He only likes part of Return of the Jedi, and he likes Empire. So he likes 1.5 Star Wars movies. And
Which-
that's the guy they gave.
Everybody likes Empire, so you're not special.
Right. I know, hot take. That's why it was funny when they asked Leslie Headland what your favorite Star Wars is, and she's like, "I love all the Star Wars." It's like, bro, just say Episode.
What a
5.
chick answer.
Just say
I
Empire.
like them all in order.
I love
from
them
episode
all.
1
They're all
through-
fun. What's the original Star Wars? The one with Luke.
You know, while I admit Episode 5 is like the best technical, like all the pieces, it's the best. I love Revenge of the Sith. Like,
Yeah,
I'll
Revenge of
choose
the
to watch Episode 3. Yeah, I will.
Oh, I enjoy
Negative.
episode 3.
Sorry.
I still
Good.
haven't gone back
Finally, a
to
hot
those
take.
prequels and watched.
I mean,
They've aged a lot better.
I
but-
would imagine they have after what we've recently got. Like I have wanted to go back and
They're
rewatch them
still
just
shit.
to like.
They're still
see-
fucking terrible.
From like a story standpoint.
Well,
see-
I mean, you get the arc,
you get
a
the arc,
trilogy
right? Like I
which
just
is
want to
good.
see what an arc looks like in Star Wars again.
Yeah, so it has that.
But
Sure.
in terms of like the technical, like let's just have them walk into a room and sit down and talk. That's like 90% of the prequel film.
Yeah. No, George should have had someone else.
He should have.
Yeah, that's the one thing we find out about George. The more you look into the back, George is great. He's a beautiful idea man, and
Great storyteller.
but he needs
Innovator.
other people
Innovator.
editing, helping him edit, and he needs
Yeah.
other people going, maybe don't do
Yeah.
that. Like the famous one, obviously, is the Han Solo was going to say "I love you too," and then Han was like, "No,
No.
I'm not doing that." And Ivan
Harrison
Kershner was
knew
like, "Yeah."
better.
Harrison and Ivan spent a couple hours working on that, but he needs that. But
Yeah. I don't know why the hell he ever sold it to Disney.
to the white slavers, because people like Hardcut were upset and they called him mean things about the prequels, and so he bounced out. I mean, that's like sort of a joke, but that is sort of the reaction to the prequels made him go, "No, I'm not doing this again." But
Yeah.
I wish he had held on because they have aged far better than the sequels ever will. Even if he had just outsourced them now, but we're screwed.
Yeah.
What about the? What do you guys feel about the like the standalone films like Rogue One and
I enjoyed
Solo.
Rogue One.
I enjoyed Rogue
personally.
One.
And Solo on a second watch isn't as, awful as it initially felt.
I say I like Rogue One, but I mean I like when Vader shows up at the end and
Oh,
kills
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah,
Always.
That's
the
actually
best
really
part.
that
Yeah.
was a super scary scene.
Because I feel like if that scene wasn't in it, no one would be talking about it. It would be like the Han Solo movie. Like, yeah, it's all right.
It might be.
Yeah.
That did really.
But
add
like
a
that,
lot
I
to
remember
it.
like when that came out, like you've got a fairly diverse cast in Rogue One, and like I don't really remember there being any big stink about it. Like
No.
Yeah.
it was just like, oh yeah, here's like a very adult type story. It was written well, it was acted well enough, and like it was okay.
That
And
one bothered me because the story had been told before. Like I was like, no,
yeah,
fuck you. Kyle Katarn stole the Death Star plans. That's Dark
right,
Forces.
yeah, Dark Forces,
And Jyn Erso is like a generic brunette, insert
right.
Catholic. They all are. And what's his face that I just Cassian Andor.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just not interested in that character. I'm just not.
No.
I'm sorry.
I mean, besides Jyn Erso, you don't, and Andor because he has his own show.
Yeah.
You can't remember any other characters' names in
With
that
the
movie.
fucking
You know,
droid
like
that
Donnie
everyone
Yen
loves.
is like,
Yeah,
I don't remember his
Donnie
name
Yen.
though, but like,
Yeah, because it was Donnie Yen.
yeah.
I don't remember his name either. I'm a Star Wars nerd and I don't remember his name. Because
Forrest
it
Whitaker.
wasn't. Well, I also delineate that Disney Star Wars is Disney Star Wars. I don't
Yeah.
even see it as
I actually
you have
did
to
enjoy
separate them.
Andor, though. I thought that was pretty decent.
It's technically very nice, and there were a lot of like in joke like references. I was like, huh, how the fuck didn't they do that in Kenobi or any of the other movies? But
I
I
didn't
just
see
don't care about
Kenobi.
Cassian. And as Ryan from RK Outpost finally put together for me of why I was having this reaction, he's a ripoff of Kyle Katarn, and Jyn Erso is a ripoff of Jan Orris. Like this is already a story that's been done better in the expanded universe.
Yeah.
Which is why innately I'm like, I just don't care about this. Why don't I care about this? Well, that's why I've seen it be done better.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't read any of the novels, and just
So
all
worth
of the
it now.
crap it is actually making me want to go back. Like with what's the I'm blanking on the villain from Ahsoka.
Thrawn.
Thrawn.
The
Yeah.
Thrawn trilogy I heard was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm actually going through it right now. I'm on
The
the last
original.
command. The
Yeah.
original, like
Yeah.
Heir of the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and then
I just want to see a
Last
movie of
Command,
Death
yeah.
Troopers, y'all. That's what I want to see.
Mm.
Yeah.
The zombie
Yeah.
troopers that show up at the end of
No. It's a whole book about
yeah, in
zombie.
say in the expanded universe they're actual zombies and it's a plague and it's not the weird death.
It was like I think
Night Sister thing.
Han Solo was in the book. Han Solo and
Yeah, it's Han Solo
Chewie.
and Chewie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see that's old school.
Yeah, it
Expanded.
is.
Yeah.
My son loved that movie. That
Wow.
movie. We listened to the audiobook.
You better hope they don't try to adapt any of the books, because they're just
they won't.
Yeah. Again, whenever everyone says that Star Wars dead, it's like, well, it is, but it wouldn't be if they just made one good thing. If right now we announced that Sebastian Stan was going to be starring as Luke Skywalker and he was going to be going on every season, he was going to be him finding Jedi to rebuild, and then that was going to spring off a legacy of the Jedi. It would all be fine. It would all come right
or
back.
do a Knights of the Old Republic.
Or yes, if you
Trilogy.
hired, if you did the full, but that takes will and skill and time and money and all the things they don't want to do or have any interest in.
I mean, what is it about bad writers? Is it that the education system sucks, or how did we get so many bad writers? Or did they shift to like TV? Because like we got some of the best TV in the last 15 years ever. You know, Breaking Bad, Mad Men, all of that. So like, what is it? Why did we get?
I do feel like the golden age of television, Breaking Bad, Mad Men, Game of Thrones, season 1 through 6, that was the golden age of television, and I think that is over. And so when everyone's complaining about Ahsoka being shitty, like all these Star Wars television shows, I'm like, well, yeah, that means that everything's right in the world. Television is supposed to be shitty. It's back to normal. But no, I mean, that's just kind of an oversimplification, obviously. But no, I think that part of like just the social justice era that we're in, like it's this era where you fail upwards in Hollywood
and outwards. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's Kathleen Kennedy. She failed upwards.
No, but the why real quick is we've talked about this in it's the same thing for I'm talking about games and all of it just changed the meaning. What I'm saying is they fired all the people that know what they're doing because a lot of them were straight white males and they used Me Too and other things to get them out. So like all those TV shows you just mentioned, they're gone, right? All those writers are gone or another product. Just like in the studios, the game studios, all those creators from Rocksteady, they're gone. So all the people left are the new hires that are young. They have no life experience.
They just
and
got
they're
out of
told
college.
Right, and they're told what
They're
you know.
indoctrinated.
And what they know about is what they just came out of their leftist colleges, and they know about their skin color and their sexuality because that's all they're told about, and that's all they're praised for. So when you tell them to write a character, well, that's why every character is now put a chick in and make her, because that's who they fucking have doing the writing. And then, as Film Thread has pointed out, invariably it ends up being the main guy in his second or her second, finishing everything, and even that is under these horrible restrictions.
Yeah.
And
None of these people have any valid life experience. All their
garbage in, garbage
their
out.
entire experience is their identity, and so if that's all you care about, then whatever if that's what they care about first and foremost. They don't care about the properties that they're taking on.
They've also never faced any adversity. Like
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Alpha.
So the worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and the worst thing that's ever happened to some of these people is a fucking microtransaction.
Right, exactly.
A microtransaction, a microaggression.
No, you were intentionally just like saying it wrong, just to be-
Microtransactions are my microaggressions for the games that they keep putting them in. Sorry. No, but that's the point is, the worst thing that's ever happened to them is something that you or I would be like, what? So,
Yeah.
but they didn't go to war, or all these people that wrote some of the great epics, the Tolkiens, the C.S. Lewis's, and all these. Yeah, so I'm not saying you have to hire everyone to be 30 or 40 with the most, but like, damn, you can't hire them straight off of Tumblr because you think they're an influencer that will bring in new group of people because you alienated everyone else.
I mean, some of the people that have some of the best shows and movies of all time have actual life experience. Like the guy that wrote The Wire.
Yeah.
He was a Baltimore City cop. And we got the best show of all time.
Gene Roddenberry, wasn't he a cop too? Star Trek? Like,
yeah.
And you could even argue that The Wire it's a pretty left-wing show, but it's written really well.
Yeah,
you know?
but when it was written, left wing means something completely different now.
Yes, correct.
Well,
but
I just call
you
it
know,
liberal. To me, that's different from
progressive.
left
Now
wing.
it means.
I mean, you watch The Wire and it's like, oh, that's the shit they were bitching about in the early 2000s. Got it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but still, it's still incredibly well done. Obviously, the creator of that show, David Simon, is that his name? I think. Very talented guy, obviously, and men like him are, because he's straight and white, they're just kind of put out of jobs.
Poor white man. That's the cliches. Oh, poor white man. It's like, we're telling you that an entire group of a population is being fired based on their skin color and their gender. They're being actively prejudiced against. And your response is, oh, because ultimately this all comes down to, oh, they're enjoying the revenge.
Exactly.
We didn't have it. It's not my fucking fault that they were. Yeah.
Well, they're so like used to just being victims all the time that when you simply call something, when you notice something, when you call something out, they think that that's us like being a victim. And it's like, no, asshole, I'm just pointing out what's going on. You guys are the ones that are victims all the time. That's why you're thinking that we're being victims right now, but that's not what it is. Again, we're just pointing out what we're seeing.
It's the oppression Olympics.
Yeah.
Who can
But
be
we don't.
more?
Yeah, we don't. But we don't think that way, though. We don't think in oppression terms.
Right. Yeah, because it's all about what they're teaching is, like Badger mentioned, is that neo-Marxism about, it's the struggles of power. There's the oppressed and the oppressor.
Yeah, they love that shit. That's what the Acolyte is.
Yeah.
Commie bullshit.
Yeah. You know how George was pretty fucking specific that Palpatine is supposed to be the worst representation of evil? Nope. Turns out he was just misunderstood.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And I'm not saying there was never any nuance in Star Wars, and there's some characters that are sort of like debatable, but there is definitely good or evil. It's very clearly defined, but they don't like that.
I mean, that was the whole thing with the Force and the dark side and the light side, right?
Yeah.
So
that's sort of a key.
It's a spectrum now.
The spectrum, they love that. Yeah. Yes. No, I can't wait for Acolyte just for the memes, just for the fun.
I mean, I can't wait for it just for the views.
Yeah. Well, that was implicit. That was implied in the. Yeah. No.
I'll let y'all take care of that.
Because there's nothing left.
I don't want to suffer through something that I know is going to piss me off.
Dude, we haven't done any shows yet.
I know we haven't done a single review on a show yet, but we got to start somewhere.
Oh man, if you want something good to watch, say The Gentleman. Watch The Gentleman. That has everything.
I've heard it's good.
Yeah.
I like
it.
It
is
so
good. It is good.
Two recommendations out of me. Which one I can't get enough of this show. Tokyo Vice.
I've heard that.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty good show.
Yeah, so they're in their second season, and
it's on Max, right?
I watched 5 minutes of Shogun, and I'm gonna finish it. I'm totally gonna finish it. I just need to finish Tokyo Vice first, and then now you guys are getting me onto The Gentleman. So
Gentleman's so
yeah,
good.
it's good.
So
Cool.
good.
It's
That's good
it's
to
rare
know.
to see a straight white man not be cucked or baited or be weak or submissive
Right.
or
Yeah.
be respectful but joking and be serious but not be like depicted as toxic or I don't know how to describe it other than
Yeah,
like
a normal
damn, they
person.
can still do
Normal.
A normal
Yeah.
character.
A normal
Well,
dude.
it's
Yeah.
because it's Guy Ritchie
Yeah.
that's involved in
Yeah.
it. So
Well, and that's the thing is some people have been able to sneak through. We for all the horrible shit, we get a Jack Ryan or a Terminal List or a Reacher or a Gentleman or House of the Dragon or something that is at least watchable and not just preach, attack. Because I'm tired of watching shit that's made by people that I know hate me.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one person that actually doesn't hate you is Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
just
yeah,
went
that guy,
through and binged all of it.
Bass Reeves,
Yellowstone,
it's a good one.
1883 was fantastic. 1923, can't wait for the second season. We were talking about girl bosses, and I'll throw out this topic. Are we seeing the death of the girl boss? But a really well written character, strong female character, was Beth Dutton on Yellowstone. You're like, okay, she's kind of like a little bit of a bitch, and then she starts falling in love with the with Cole Hauser's character, and then you find out what her origin story was, like I want to say in like season 4, and you're like, oh, I kind of get it. And I don't want to cross you. Like I wouldn't want to get in a fight with Beth Dutton because I would get my ass kicked.
Yeah, well, that's also the actress. You got to hire the
that's
right
true.
people.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Great, Kelly Riley, who I just saw. I was looking her up in her filmography, and she was in this fantastic comedy. I want to say in like 2001, 2002, called The Spanish Apartment, where they get like all these roommates from like every country in Europe, and it's kind of like the Odd Couple thing. And she played the English girl. I had no idea she was English.
Yeah, those Brits pretty good at doing the generic American
the
accent.
Brits and the Aussies,
Yeah.
they're very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's good. She's in that movie Flight with Denzel.
That's
Yeah,
right.
she's
Yeah.
good in that.
Yeah. So I mean, but she's her character is very well written. So it is possible.
That's possible, but then it's not a girl boss.
Right.
Well,
Like-
plus she's like fucked in the head.
Yeah, she totally is. Yeah, but that's a character flaw. You can't have these Mary Sues like Ray is completely flawless,
Right.
omnipotent, omniscient. Can do no wrong. There's no character arc in that. There's no redemption. There's nothing.
Yeah, there's no struggle.
The
You
same thing
need
with
struggle.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
That's why she wasn't interesting.
Yeah, she was powerful all along.
She was
all
the
you
same
had to do was unlock
person
it. Yeah.
all the way through. She just like was remembering stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
about
no,
her
you have to
power or
make
whatever.
people like you have to drag your character through the mud and make people root for them, male or female.
We were
Yeah, I
supposed
mean-
to root for her when she beats up the motorcyclist and takes his stuff because he asked her to smile.
I saw this article the other day. Somebody criticizing the Critical Drinker. It's like, oh no, you don't have the traditional hero's journey. It's like we have the hero's
That's-
journey because it's worked for thousands of years.
Right? Exactly.
No, that's. I think I was thinking about this and how to explain it. I was like, oh, that's why God lets bad things happen to good people. It's fucking character development.
Right.
Even God can't magic his way into. I'm using that as the magic. You're just saying like that's why you need struggle. You need things to happen and
Yeah.
overcome those things. Otherwise, who gives a shit about you?
Yep.
And that's
Yeah.
what happened to the Rays and the Captain Marvels and all these. Just like you can't just be like, here, she's strong. Be impressed by them.
That's how you get better. Like it's essentially going to the gym. You're not going to get big and strong unless you go to the gym. You have to put some struggle in, put some work in to achieve a result.
Well, we'll see if they learn in Master Ray's New Jedi Order movie.
Master Ray.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Master Ray
From all that training
Skywalker.
she went through.
Yeah.
She read
all the
books.
5 minutes of training.
Yeah.
Yeah,
picks up a lightsaber and and is completely proficient with it.
Oh, just wait. It opens with the
Kicks
Force
shit out
ghosts of
Rey,
like Hayden. Yeah.
Kylo
Oh,
at the end
God.
of Force Awakens, having like never touched a lightsaber.
No, I think honestly,
Dude's
I
been
think
training his whole
yeah.
life.
Oh, did you
trained with
hear
Luke
the explanation
Skywalker.
for that?
Luke Skywalker, and she beats him in the first film.
She
What was
took
the
she took Kylo's training from him when he mind grapes her. When he does
Oh,
the
that's
mind
right,
link,
yeah.
she just in the
Yeah.
book it just says that she like reverse osmosis is his power. That's how she magically knows how to do a Jedi mind trick, and yeah, because
Perfect out of the
apparently
gate.
Jedi could have just been doing that all along instead of decades of training.
Yeah.
Could have
Right.
just
Who needs to
Matrix
train?
style.
You just Matrix
yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah,
But
well,
it's
nope.
Just
who
download
actually-
the information into them. Okay.
who wrote it? It's kids that didn't have a struggle essentially in their life, and so
No plan, no. Yeah, no. That's why thankfully the good ones are. We just gotta let people tell them that it's okay for them to say this is shit. To stop accepting just generic content.
It's okay to have a flaw and a weakness and learn and grow from it.
yeah.
Well, that's why I'm
And
hoping the
Acolyte-
reception of The Gentleman and shit like that is then Reacher and other things is like, see, look, men and women and development, good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, men and women are supposed to fit together like pieces of a puzzle. They complement one another, and it's okay to have traditional gender roles.
Says you, stale, male and pale, stale.
I'm so toxic. Oh, God.
But hopefully the money is starting to speak for itself.
Yeah.
Their flop busters keep flopping. The good things are making
Yeah.
their money. Games like Helldivers are doing
Yeah.
bananas. Other games are just being rejected. So, like, because I don't know how to beat them any other way besides keep talking about it, keep exposing them, and
Yeah.
then just ignore everything except the shit that
And
you
also,
like.
stop. Okay, you're looking forward to watching the Acolyte. I'm not going to waste my time.
Hey,
on
I have a
it.
year of Disney from Verizon, and I'm using every bit of it.
Okay,
So
all right. Well, also, I guess you could call this part of your work.
Yeah, and true, and also yes, we must know.
Taking
People
the
must
hit
know.
for the
I
masses.
see. So,
Yeah.
like, some people love to do that. I don't.
Well, some
I
of that's
do-
true.
I don't want to watch something that I know is going to annoy the hell out
I'm,
of me.
I'm with
so
you,
I just-
Sin. But since we started this channel, we've seen many things that I would never fucking
We're
watch.
trying to curb. I used to go see some like really obscure shit at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like we went and saw what is it? Skinamarink.
Skinamarink.
Some random,
Oh.
like shitty
Oh, I'm so
horror
glad
movie.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, now I don't think we would probably skip that now.
Yeah, but I mean, that
life
being
is
said,
too
though,
short, you guys.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's why we haven't really done a show because that's such a commitment, and it's going to be dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just don't have the
shows are a little
strength.
Way
harder
more
to
commitment to sit down and watch so many episodes
get
versus a
attached to.
2-hour
You know,
film.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Tourist. Have you guys seen The Tourist?
With-
Is that on
Netflix
Max?
show?
It's an
With,
Australian dude, or he's in
Yeah,
Australia.
He's in Australia. It
I've
came
seen
to
some of
Netflix.
it.
The first season was super good, and the second season kind of fell off. I mean, the only reason I got into that was because Netflix was letting me watch it early. But yeah, it is hard to put that in, make time for the series because it is a big commitment.
Yeah.
Got all those
My-
episodes. and
My excitement for
seasons.
Acolyte is just because it's everything they want. It's like, okay, this is it, huh? This is your show for women and diversity and inclusion, and the Force is non-binary female. Like, this is everything they want.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah. But when you call them out on the plot and characters, they're going to call you a racist and a bigot.
But that was a given anyway.
Yeah, definitely a given. I'll just
Expected.
watch your take on how it.
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
See, and that's why we end up watching shit we don't want to watch. Because some people actually genuinely ask you to watch it. They want to know what it
Well,
is.
okay,
They don't
you have
actually want to
said
suffer through it.
You're going to watch it.
I shamelessly watched Az destroy his mind, Az from Heel versus Babyface, watching Batwoman season 3, where like he's never recovered from. You talk about Trump derangement syndrome. He has Batwoman 3 derangement. He's never recovered from watching that show. So some of us do fall on grenades. I will say, yeah, depending on the show.
Yeah. I mean, I got a new policy on going to the movie theater. I am not paying for more than one movie, and we're going to go movie hopping. It's going to be a 3-for-1 feature every time.
Do you have a Regal where you are?
Yeah, we have Regal.
Do you have the unlimited?
I have.
should-
I have the. I go to the AMC.
Yeah,
Oh,
we have AMC stubs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I was going to say.
Did you get a Dune popcorn bucket?
Did not,
I did.
Oh,
unfortunately.
And I also
No, that
didn't get
actually
a
wasn't AMC.
Ghostbusters popcorn
Was it?
bucket.
The IMAX?
Oh,
One
right.
of them,
That's
yeah, the
Regal.
AMC
Right.
was the. I thought the AMC was the butthole cover.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually saw it in Ford. What's that? RDX, RTX, whatever, 4D.
Yeah.
RPX.
I'm actually going to the. I'm gonna go see Dune again in the for real IMAX in Lincoln Center next week. I
You
can't
should.
wait.
It's worth
Oh,
it.
I'm gonna see it again. Are you guys gonna go see Monkey Man? I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah,
I want
but
to see
That
that.
actually looks really good.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Okay, so I'm a little nervous because I've heard it called the Indian John Wick.
It
I mean, I can see
Indiana
that.
I
Jones.
Yeah.
was not a fan of John Wick 3 and 4.
Well, maybe they're just saying that in terms of action style, and not
Style, yeah.
necessarily
Okay.
story.
All right, I'm going to see that on Thursdays.
I
Yeah, it's
expect to
kinda
see
hard
him
not
beat the
to-
shit out of a bunch of people in a monkey mask.
It's kind of hard
With
not
the
to
neon
reference.
lighting.
Like John Wick kind of set a precedent, so it's kind of hard to not like compare it. Like there's just so many. Any action movie that comes out now, it's either like, oh, is it like John Wick or is it not like John Wick?
Yeah.
That is kind of annoying. I'm kind of
Yeah.
with you, Sin. That's
I mean, it's a genre. It's gun fu, they call
But like
it.
to me, that's
Yeah.
not a compliment to call it John Wick because
Depends
I
which John
hated
Wick you're talking about.
4.
Yeah.
Well, 3 and 4 specifically, I really
like two
disliked.
peak John Wick.
I love
so-
I love 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 was decent. 1 and 2, I liked.
I like the
I
gun
actually
shopping
didn't mind
scene.
3.
3's okay. It's just like it's,
Yeah.
it's just overload.
Yeah,
that's
I
where he
still haven't
starts
seen the fourth
falling
one because
from
of that
buildings
third
and
one.
shit.
Yeah, the
Fourth
third
one
one
is
is
even
like
more
Jesus.
overload.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm still angry that I was kind of talked into going to see it. I was on a live stream, and other people had seen it. They loved it, so I was like, okay. So I go to see it, and oh my goodness, the whole ride home, I was driving my son home because he worked at the theater. I was ranting the entire time. I was like, this movie should have been called Superman versus Daredevil, because that's what this was. So stupid. Oh
Yeah.
my head. It's like, how many times can you watch somebody fall off a building and live and be okay? How can someone do donuts in a car and just shoot perfectly the whole time? I was so, that movie. And I love Keanu
Practice.
Reeves.
Yeah.
Practice.
I love Keanu Reeves.
Practice,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I hate dissing on it because, he was in it and I really like him, but boy, I just
So
could not.
in defense of the whole how can he be that good about shooting? Have you
Terran
seen
Tactical?
the videos of Keanu Reeves doing the
Yeah, he goes to Terran Tactical. He does. No, but he's not fucking driving it out of a
He's
shooting.
not,
He's not in a
doing
car while
donuts.
doing that.
And
He's doing a
also,
course. Yeah.
he's got this bulletproof suit on, right? But when
Oh.
he
That
gets
was a
hit by a
cop-out.
bullet,
Yeah.
Them
when he
adding that
gets
in.
hit by a bullet,
His
and he
marksmanship is the
even
least of the
flinches.
complaints. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
complain about how do you get stabbed and shot that many times,
Yeah,
even
the whole film just became him going.
Yeah,
Like
pulling
he
his
had
he
coat
was
up
like-
like he had a
like a
fucking
cape.
pull it
Batman
up.
cape.
Yeah.
But he never
It turns
reacted
into
when
a
he got hit.
superhero.
It was just so stupid. I
Yeah.
just couldn't.
He took
Yeah,
a
the
little
first two
too
are the
much
best ones.
damage in the
Yeah.
fourth one.
Yeah.
To still
Yeah.
be walking.
Yeah. Dumb.
Speaking of Keanu Reeves, I just want to get you guys to be aware it's the 25th anniversary of The Matrix, which I'm actually seeing
Oh.
next week.
Are they re-releasing it?
They're re-releasing it in theaters. I can't wait.
I've never
to go
seen
see it
that
in
one on the
theaters.
big screen.
That was a
it's
good one.
awesome.
Oh yeah, it's incredible on the big.
I was
saw it-
13 when
I
that
saw it
came
in
out.
School.
I was 15.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I have a funny experience. I went, I couldn't drive then, so I went with my older sister and her boyfriend, and they kept making out right next to me the entire movie. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go
Oh,
do
no.
this and not and just pay attention. Thankfully, it was The Matrix, and it was not that hard to pay attention.
It was good enough to grab your attention.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, no, the Matrix
yeah.
one's boy, that turned out a little bit more accurate than any of us would have thought.
that movie and Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
half of
Demolition
it.
Man, yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Those
The
are
fine.
one
One
point.
credit
Future
for
Predators.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love those 80s and 90s action movies. They were all great. They were all great. Arnold, Sly, on a lesser
That's what I was
extent,
raised on. A
Yeah,
steady amount of
Van
movies
Damme.
that I shouldn't have watched.
Yeah.
Bloodsport, all the
Yeah.
Terminators, all the
Cliffhanger.
semester, everyone. Yeah, Cliffhanger, Commando,
American
So
Ninja.
good.
And
American Ninja. Yes, Hell,
it actually
see,
holds
yes.
up. It still holds up. Like I just saw Bloodsport a couple months ago, and I
Oh,
was
he's
like,
dope.
Bloodsport holds up really well,
oh,
and
it's so
Kickboxer.
good.
Kickboxer's awesome.
I've loved all those Universal Soldier, Time Cop, all those.
Universal.
Cop
Oh
was
yeah, I was just
bad.
gonna say Time Cop. I love Time Cop.
Street
Universal
Fighter
Soldier was
for
so
its
good.
own glorious little
For its own
existence.
reasons.
Yeah, its own reasons. Raul Julia. Yeah,
Raul Julia.
yeah. It's just
Criminally
man,
underrated.
we had it good. Criminally, yeah, and did it like all. Did it for his kids.
Yeah,
while
he
dying.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He put 110% into that performance.
Oh wait, no, wait, we got the remake of The Crow coming.
Oh,
Very excited about that.
That's why they keep trying to make that movie.
yeah. It's
The trailer came out the other day. I was like, what the fuck? What is
I
this?
didn't even watch the trailer. I'm not.
I
gonna
just
are
bought
they
the
doing?
comic book, like the collected graphical edition,
The
with all
original?
the things that were. The original to see what
Yeah.
the hubbub is about. So beautiful art so far.
yeah.
Well,
yeah, they got to
story,
stop
great,
with that.
Great original film. But that remake, that's like everything wrong with remakes is encapsulated in that trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
just the look, just that first promo image was. So,
It's too much like a Jared Leto.
It was,
Yeah,
like
it
an,
looks like the
it was like an
Joker.
even
Yeah.
gayer Jared Leto Joker. Yeah.
And it's sad because Bill Skarsgård, I think, could pull
He's-
off the role if they did it right. And he's in
Yeah.
another movie called Boy Kills World that
Which looks cool.
dope. Right. So
Yes,
that's what I was like,
I'm
well,
interested.
why
in
did
that
we
one
do
for
this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why did we make this choice? Yeah.
I think the theme for tonight's live stream was why.
Well, that's the thing is on all of it, on everything we talked about, the same thing is like, well, it could have been great, but they didn't do it because they don't have the will to, and even if they wanted to, the people that they have hired couldn't actually do it. And that we could be talking about games or movies or comics. That's where we are. So until a lot of people, how do we fix it all, Badger? Well, you're going to have the largest firing of people in the history of all things. Like every industry has to clean house.
These people just need to start
Rehire.
caring about money again.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's the other thing.
Money.
I thought I lived in a reality we could always rely on greed. And it turns out you can, it's just they found a different way to get their greed.
Correct.
Right.
Which is what ESG started. The guy said there was like $6 trillion worth of the world's money. How do we get it? And
Yeah.
that's how that started, to get people's investment and retirement funds. And so
Yeah.
here we are today. But it's like, we got to go back to like, no, but be greedy about this. Profitable movies that make money with good performances. And we can't, I don't know how we do that besides Egg Size and the Demons.
Yeah, and we're doing all of the work. We're doing God's work on YouTube.
Like unironically, in a little bit, if we reach one person, and I know I have reached several people that were like buying into it, and then they're starting to see it all, that I've done my job. If one person sees what they're doing,
YouTube has been pushing my stuff to the normies, so I get destroyed in the comments.
I know you got to not let people shy you away. You got to be calm and clear and precise. Of this is why I'm saying this is, and I know people go, "Don't waste your time with them." Well, the normies are who we're trying. The normies are why they keep getting away with it because they have the normies.
Yeah.
We're very petty, so we,
I know.
We like to engage
we
all of
engage.
our
I know.
commenters
I
quite a
try.
bit.
I give you leeway, right? Like I try to explain it, and then if you still tell me to go fuck myself, well, I go, all right.
Yeah. Now, if you leave a respectful comment, we
Yes.
respond in kind. But if you come
Yes.
out of the gate attacking us, we attack back tenfold.
And it's all
and
engagement.
I love it. It's so much fun to do.
It's still the algorithm loves it, whether they're hating you or
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all engagement. It's all
Yeah.
good. All
I mean,
engagement's good.
I got a ton of views. It was my most ratioed video where I was shitting on Zone of Interest.
oh fuck that movie.
That movie was
Oh,
so
I haven't
fucking
seen
bad.
that yet.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
It was so
What a pretentious
Fuck that.
pile of shit.
Did
and
you see it?
I watched it.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't. I haven't seen
It
it.
It sucks.
yeah, and all of a sudden all the commenters are like, well, he just doesn't understand a Jonathan Glazer movie. Go back to watching Marvel. And I'm
Oh
like,
yes.
you
Oh,
do
that's-
know
I hate
that I
those.
like Shawshank Redemption, okay? Right? Like how to blow up a pipeline.
People who
I
have
like
no
good movies.
idea about your channel, they come on and well, obviously all you like is MCU films.
Right.
Okay.
Actually,
That's like the
I know.
default.
That's
you
what
know,
Yes, so
yeah.
stupid.
Well, or like when I said I didn't like Andor, they're like, "Oh, you just want lightsabers and explosions." It's like, well, yes, I do want lightsabers and explosions.
Yeah,
Because
it's
fuck
called
me,
Star
sorry.
Wars.
I just want you, yeah, because it's people hate when I say that. The Star Wars universe without lightsabers and Jedi and the Force is a fucking generic space fantasy.
Right.
It's why all these things look the same when you
It's
take
basically
out
Rebel Moon.
that. Okay, so they don't like when you point that out.
Oh, I
but
still haven't
that
finished
aside,
that one.
like, no,
Dune.
just don't like the pacing of it,
So-
or I don't
so
like
wait
the
a second.
characters in it.
Rebel Moon I guess
Fuck
I'm
that
still
movie.
okay. Okay,
Fuck that movie.
I
Yeah.
haven't
We got the
finished
second
it.
one coming.
Talk about
so
punishment.
It's
Yeah.
not connected at all with Star
No,
Wars.
he
No, it was,
wanted
it was
it
supposed to be a
Yeah,
Star Wars.
Zack
movie.
Snyder
It was
was gonna be-
supposed to be. Okay,
Yeah.
I was so confused because I was started watching it and I was just wondering when the whole Star Wars
Well,
thing
he
was
wrote
gonna
it as a
start.
Star Wars movie,
Yeah,
but
he was gonna
it was
pitch it.
rejected or so. It was
Yeah.
So
like,
it's just
yeah.
Which-
another okay.
You're telling me
Yeah.
Kathleen said that movie wasn't good enough for them?
Yeah.
Yeah. She rejected Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody rejects the Snyder. Man, I used to defend him on some of his stuff in the DCU, some of it. And after hearing him on Rogan, I'm like, oh my God, he's functionally retarded.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
Oh, I
anything
haven't
got
You're
made.
watched
talking
that
about
yet.
Batman's one rule.
Oh my
On Rogan.
God.
God.
I don't know how we got anything of note from him after hearing him actually talk. It is a miracle he made. And I still give him 300 and Watchmen and the warehouse scene. But
Yeah, exactly.
damn, hearing
What
him
did he
talk.
say? What did he say?
Batman should be allowed to kill.
He said that like, oh, everyone was telling me that Batman's one rule is he doesn't kill, and that just made me want to break that rule.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you're such a fucking shut up.
Yeah, it's the same people that say that Batman should get over, and it's like, look, most versions of Batman have gotten over the fact that their parents were killed. The reason they're still Batman is because they don't want anyone else to go through what they went through as a child, and that's why he doesn't kill.
Well, they
because
point
he
to,
doesn't
like-
want anyone else to experience that, even if it's a bad. Like he doesn't want to
Yeah.
become what he
Oh,
fights.
I have
They-
zero issue with Batman killing though.
They
That didn't bother
point,
me at all.
Well, they point to like these like Elseworlds tales
Dark Knight
where
Returns, yeah.
where Batman has killed people before, but it's like that's not the core values of the character. That's not what's given him the longevity for 80 plus years or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill people.
Keaton
that's
killed
a
people.
tenet of Batman.
That's what I love is everyone loves the Keaton ones, but Keaton literally put dynamite on like someone
Yeah,
and
but
blew them up and set them on fire.
that's a little bit different though. Like the
But it's
defense
not
of-
in the sense that it's another movie where Batman killed and no one criticizes it, but in this one they did. But the messaging behind it and why I think is very
Well,
different.
But you have to also remember when the Batman movies, the Burton Batman movies came out, no one had ever seen a Batman like a comic book movie taken seriously like that.
Right, we're
And
used to Adam.
we weren't really.
Superman. I mean,
Well,
yeah, but even that's campy or
Yeah. It
it
compared
definitely
to
can't be. Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
weren't really conditioned to like for comic book accurate movies just yet, And then like even X-Men comes out in the early 2000s, and then everyone starts questioning, okay, why are
Well,
they all
Blade.
wearing like black leather and shit? Like why can't they look the way they look in the comics? And then there was just kind of like this hunger for more comic accurate movies, And then Batman Begins comes along and does it right. And
and that's the extent I'm all right with Batman killing is like I'm not going to save you or I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you type of thing.
Yeah, well, and then I remember Zack Snyder was saying that like, oh, he kills people by proxy. So like in the warehouse scene when he kicks that guy and the grenade,
Yeah.
but it's like, no, fucker, you just had him like mow that guy down earlier in the Batmobile. Like
Yeah,
he
that's
blows
the
him
part
away
that- yeah.
and fucking rams right into it.
I mean, him being brutal has always been a joke. They even did it in one of the Injustice games where Robin's like, "Oh, so you won't kill, but you're fine with traumatic brain injury."
Yeah, there you go.
Like
There you go.
that's
He's
fine.
alive.
But don't have him just icing
He'll put
people.
you in a fucking wheelchair, but you're not going
Yeah.
to be dead.
But you'll be alive.
Yeah.
Right.
And we already have
He'll live.
a Batman that kills. He's called the Punisher.
Exactly.
Well,
yes.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's
Batman having the line is good because then it's like, oh shit, he has the line. How is he going to accomplish what he does without?
That's
breaking
part of
his
the fun
one?
of the character.
It's
Is
part of
how
it.
he.
If you
is
don't
how
have the
he
talent
works
to
through
write that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you just say some shit like, "Oh, I wanted to break it."
And that's why people that do these characters justice, they understand. They understand what makes the character have the longevity that it has, and then they work with all of that in those parameters.
yeah.
You think Zack Snyder understands, or Zack Snyder? You think James Gunn understands? Are you excited for Brave and the Bold?
No.
Yeah,
To me, like I'm just done with DC. I'm fucking done. I'm over it. Like, and this is just him taking over and like, okay, so the Snyderverse doesn't count now. It's just one extra. Like we have the Batman out there, but it's not in the same universe. Like
So
DC,
confusing.
fucking calm down. It's just one extra complication. I'm just not interested. But in this, you have Superman, and it's like Superman kind of in the very beginning of being Superman. But then you have Batman, and he's like, I don't know, 10, 15 years into his career at this point. So now
He
you have
has
like,
to be.
now Batman's going to be older than Superman? What the fuck? Like,
Yeah, but they're going to be contemporaries. I was like, so how the fuck are they contemporaries if he's on his 4th Robin?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a mess, and I'm tired of the mess.
Yeah.
Now, are they making another The Batman?
Yeah, this is
they
a
are.
sequel. Yeah.
It actually
And
just
the
got
Penguin.
delayed.
Right, it got delayed.
the
yeah,
Penguin
the
show?
Penguin shows come
And then
out.
they're doing a Gotham PD, but the Gotham PD is in the DCU. It's not in the Matt Reeves universe.
Yeah, exactly? That's my point.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
It is.
Are they doing a Penguin movie or a TV show?
TV
TV
show.
show.
Looks like The Sopranos, basically.
Yeah.
With
Are they
Colin
going to
Farrell.
have Colin Farrell?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's-
it's him.
They did a trailer. It just came out where him talking
Yeah,
about like he wants to be
recently.
like the nice mob boss, which is fine. But I do like Colin Farrell as Penguin.
Great.
So
Yeah,
He was good.
He was
Yeah.
one of the better parts of that.
I wasn't
Like,
blown
that
away by that
wasn't
movie.
Bad. It
Fuck
was
that movie.
long, but it was fine.
I like that movie.
He activates the 4chan white supremacists at the end.
Oh yeah,
so-
well, yeah, exactly. Riddler's
I don't like that they
4chan
turned
white
it
supremacist.
into incels. Yeah, that's.
He activates the incels.
And
I like
I'm
parts
so-
of that movie. I like
It's
Pattinson.
got
I like
ups and
parts of
downs.
his as Batman. I wish he had gotten more bulky. I get that he
No,
doesn't
he
have a.
fucking sucks.
I get he doesn't have a fully formed.
Okay, thank you. He
Bruce.
never won me over either.
No, I
was always against him. And
I
that
made
role.
a short like months back, and like it's one of our most like downvoted videos. But there's that scene in the movie that I can't fucking get over. No one ever mentions this, but
one
in the
is it?
Batman, he gets on top of it's before the stupid squirrel suit jump that he does. Fuck that
Yeah.
part. But anyways, he gets up at the top of the building, and like right when he gets to the top, he goes, "Ooh, Batman's afraid of fucking heights." Like he shits himself when he gets up there.
Oh,
And
I didn't
everyone-
even notice this.
Oh my god, it's so stupid. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's only year 2 of him being Batman. I'm like, yeah, because Christian Bale was such a fucking pussy when he was Batman in Batman Begins. Get the fuck out of here. Batman's afraid of heights. And he's played by this like twig little bitch. Sorry, I think Robert Pattinson's a good actor. He is. You know, everyone's like, oh, you just can't get over him being in Twilight.
No,
yeah,
that's
I can.
not it at all.
It's
He's
not
just
it.
not good for the
You're
role.
just not right for the character.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
Like the cinematography is good. There are good things about
Yeah.
it.
There are.
I did like the Batmobile in that.
The Batmobile's
It was an
cool.
interesting
The
take on it.
sound.
I thought it was cool.
I thought I was going to hate it, but I ended up really liking that.
Yeah, it was a cool take on
For
it.
a year 2 Batman in fucking Earth 1, I think it's passable. Yeah, he should have gotten bigger. I don't mind. It's no George Clooney.
No, it's not the worst.
This
It's not
is
the
true,
worst
but
Batman
that's
movie I've
scraping
ever
the
seen.
bottom of the barrel. Come on.
No, there are worse Batman movies.
But that movie
It's
has
the
like
worst ever.
that movie has like 0 replay value. Like I don't know anyone that wants to go back and rewatch that. It's
See,
just,
I've watched it several times. I like it enough. I get it.
Well, I wasn't crazy about Catwoman, but just when she was starting to become a likable character to me, she throws,
The white
throws out
comment.
Oh,
that
she throws the white privilege.
that
in.
stupid
Fucking
rich
comes
white
out of nowhere.
assholes comment that
Yeah.
or rich whatever.
It
you
was
know what
fine
she
with the
said.
rich and the asshole part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
what
she
she had to
actually
say, but
uses
she
the
had to
phrase
throw
white
race
privilege.
into it. I
Yeah.
was like, why?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that was annoying.
No, they always have to ruin it. They always
Of
have to do
course.
their little. Yeah.
Yeah. And Robert Pattinson, I don't think, wanted to go down the Kumail Nanjiani steroids at HGH route.
Then he should have fucking worked out hard.
no,
he should have
just
worked
didn't-
out.
He just didn't want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And I know it was COVID, bro. You could do push-ups and sit-ups, and it would have been fine.
But,
Yeah.
but like
Pull
to
ups,
bulk
push ups,
up,
sit ups, squats. That's all
I mean,
you
how-
do.
That's the only one thing is I shouldn't look at Batman and be like, I could take him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I would say to him. I'm saying you
I
shouldn't
agree with
walk
you.
into a Batman movie knowing you can kick Batman's ass.
I agree with you. I should not get that feeling. I fucking could take
I'll
Robert
just throw
Pattinson.
my
I could.
kettlebell at him.
Now, Ben Affleck, big, all jacked out like he
No,
was. I
no
wouldn't want
one's
no
gonna
way.
fuck with him. Like
Yeah,
he'll tear you up.
Christian
yeah.
Bale, when he was all bulked out like that, I
In
don't want to have
Batman
that.
Begins.
fun.
Yeah.
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 well, that's why they're probably going to do Bane. The next Bane's going to be Conor McGregor after.
Oh, God.
Hey, I'd see that.
You know what? The most entertaining part about whatever that Roadhouse movie was Connor doing
Conor
whatever the
McGregor.
fuck
That
he
was
was
it.
doing.
That was it. Just
I
Conor
heard
McGregor.
about him.
Connor
I
was a.
didn't know.
First of all, I'll just say real quick. I love the first Roadhouse. This movie
False.
has so nothing to do with the first
not even
Roadhouse
close.
beyond they
Oh,
had the
no.
same name and they said
Absolutely.
Roadhouse.
Yeah.
So I
It's a
don't even get
disgrace.
offended at it, but boy, was Connor fun to watch be a fucking maniac.
Well, he's the only person enjoying being in that movie.
Smoking
Yes,
coconut,
that's the only
drinking
person
coconuts and
that-
driving his car into a tree.
Yeah.
Like just getting out, walking with his arms out like he's an action figure.
That's-
Like he
yeah.
was perfect. He felt like he should have been in the original film. Like
Yes.
his character had the energy of what like villains were like.
Yeah,
in
we
the
talk
80s.
about this in our review, but
Okay,
yeah.
good. Yeah, I don't want to stomp on it. I just want to say, yeah, no, good. It seems like you got it. What I did of just it's like, oh, this isn't even okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why you did that, but all
Yeah.
right. But yeah, I mean, how much juice were they going to take from the '89 Roadhouse by just having the title and like,
Or at least
all
just
the
not
characters
like
replaced?
doing the fight scenes justice and not doing some weird new composite shit fight stuff that they were messing with. Like,
Did you see the
looks so
CGI?
fake. It's
They have so like they filmed the from my understanding they actually filmed the fight scenes like you'd shoot a conventional fight scene,
Right.
but then on top of that they added CG doubles, so they would kind of cut to them during the fight, so you can
Yeah.
see them making contact, like the actual hits being made. That was the main thing. They wanted you to feel like these people were actually punching each other, but it just looks like shit.
yeah. Instead, it feels like you're watching a video game cutscene.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
It's
and
just
also
jarring.
the dynamic between the two of them. Like in the original '89, Dalton and the villain, you get the sense that Dalton could beat the original the villain if he wanted to, but he's holding back for an obvious reason.
Yeah.
In this one, it's sort of like, no, I don't think you could beat him even if you were going
Yep.
full force.
Yeah,
And
there
the
was just
reasons are
nothing cool
dumb.
about the movie.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
His-
no, it was
his,
another
like-
one of why they do this.
His Dalton wasn't cool, whereas
No.
like Swayze was like cool as shit. Wade Garrett was cool as shit. Sam Elliott,
Which is
and then like
not even in it.
not even
No.
in it. There's no Wade Garrett.
That was my
character
biggest
in
thing.
this.
Why? The best thing about Dalton is his philosophy and pain don't
Yes,
hurt.
yes,
Be nice.
exactly.
All of his
His-
mantra and
his
inform me as a
stoicism.
young man, you know, all gone.
What happened to training all the other bouncers and like explaining like, hey, you know, if somebody gets rowdy, we're gonna kick them out.
Well, yeah, that's the problem with this movie though. Is the movie starts and he's not even a bouncer yet.
No,
So
Yeah,
there's-
it's not even
There's no
he's a
business
cool.
doing any of this, and then they wrap it all up with the love interest, where you get like Kelly Lynch in the original, who is
Yeah.
like an attractive woman who he's like into and like pursues, and in this it's like the opposite.
Yeah, she's
It's
the one
like-
making all the moves. They're on that date, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know this was a date. We should get back." And she's like, "What the fuck is this?"
No nudity, no nudity
No,
from
no,
anyone.
no
like
tits,
no
none.
of the
Yeah.
charm of a movie like this.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, did
Yeah.
you get nudity from Kelly Lynch?
I say
Oh,
there's
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
several female nudities and Patrick Swayze's nude. And yes, I was mad that Jake Gyllenhaal did not show his ass when he got out of bed in the
Right.
same scene because it goes to the fact that Dalton doesn't give a fuck. So he gets up out of bed naked, doesn't
Yep.
like shy. And in this one, they make a stupid comment about him being underwear. Every part, like all these things, was lesser than the original.
Yeah, no soul completely.
None.
no soul, no fun.
No.
Yeah, well, that's movies these days.
Yeah. There's a tagline.
Yeah, basically. I think it's changing. I think it's slowly changing, but it's gonna get a hell of a lot worse before it gets better.
And we'll all get views for that, and then hopefully we'll be here to usher in the new. They ever just start listening to us because we tell them how to fix it all the time.
Yeah,
They say we're just complaining, but we're just complaining because you're not listening to us telling you how to fix it. So if you guys want to stop ruining shit, we'll tell you all right now how to fix it.
and I mean, you know, one guy who's really putting his money where his mouth is a drinker. He's a writer. I read his first two books. I'm gonna pick up
Yeah,
the
they're
third
good.
one.
Are they good?
Pretty good.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're fun books. You know, he's making that short clearly to pitch to movie studios to get it made because it did get optioned a while ago and like it's
The
just
book,
been
yeah,
stuck.
and yeah.
So
I'm
yeah, I
looking
mean,
forward
he's
to
putting
seeing
his
the
money
short.
where his mouth is, and
Yeah, that's
So
that
wait,
Iron
hold on.
Age.
That thing that he made, that's a short. That's not a feature.
It's a short. Yeah,
Oh.
it's not a feature.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I think what he said was going to be like 10, 15 minutes, something like that.
yeah.
His actual
Okay, so it's like a
Ryan
proof
Drake-
of concept then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a proof
Okay.
of concept
Okay.
that he's probably going to pitch to movie studios to get made into a full movie.
All right.
Is
And,
it Rogue Elements, I think is what
Yeah.
it's called. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
No, it's good. Yeah, to him and the Rippas setting up the infrastructure and
Yeah.
paying for
Nice
their,
job.
and that's what we're going to need to do. So since they're not,
Well,
doing it.
the biggest problem with all of this though is like all that stuff's great and that's what needs to be done, but the left and the SJWs, they have this entire media apparatus that are
Yeah.
backing them up, and
And
that's
God
the problem.
forbid-
Like you've got like video game websites like IGN or Kotaku. So like, all these game developers are making video games for them basically, so they give them good reviews. And that's why we're seeing like video games go to shit. That's part of the reason why video games are going to shit right now, is because they're just catering to those lunatics.
Yeah,
So
but thankfully
something needs to be
almost
done
went
about
out of
that
business.
too.
Kotaku almost went out of business just now.
I know,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
I was hoping.
Yeah, I mean, but they make it really difficult to break through. Obviously,
Yeah.
the drinker got his movie optioned, and like it just got stuck.
That's
One
fairly
big-
common, though.
That's what I was
Yeah.
getting ready to say. This happens all the time.
Yeah, and one bit of news since the last live stream, I did finish writing my book.
Oh, nice! Congrats,
Congrats,
man.
man.
Yeah, and trying to get it published is just. I think I might change my name to like LaQuisha Jones.
Solid tactic.
Because like they hear my name, Paul. Oh, geez, white guy. Forget it.
Paula, that's where you got.
Oh, have you guys
Right.
seen American Fiction?
I was just gonna say it's like the inverse of American Fiction.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I wonder
actually
if they got
did.
the joke of American Fiction.
Yeah,
That's
See, this
making
is
fun
why I
of
was
white liberals.
surprised that it was even nominated for stuff.
Yeah. It was
Because
actually
it was making fun of
woke
them.
stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but like in trying to get I got inspired by Andy Weir, the writer of The Martian, which was a book before it became a movie. That guy was just a random run-of-the-mill engineer, middle class, was writing in his spare time. He self-publishes on Amazon because like nobody wants to give him the time of day. Within 3 days, he has a book deal, and within a month, he has a movie deal. And in trying
That is
to
extremely rare.
it's extremely rare, right? And so I'm trying to go the traditional route, trying to get the literary agent, so they pitch me to publishing houses, and it's just like, all right, I've gotten full requests, and then it's like it's not right for us, and I'm like, it's actually talking about all the stuff that you want. It's got a black character. Think Idris Elba and Amy Adams together, working together. Strong female character, all of it. No.
I'm going to need you to hire a consultant company to make sure that your black character is authentic. You're going to have to get a black guy to pitch it for you because
Right.
only they can write their story. Sorry about that.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. But they're blocking efforts by people to do good stuff. Not, I think my book is good, obviously, but I want other people to tell me, hey, your book is shit or it's good, and they're not even letting me in the door.
Well, eventually you might have to do that yourself.
Yeah.
It's
might,
always been hard to publish a book or to make a movie. That's
Yeah.
nothing new there. That's hard. But now you have the gatekeeping
Right.
on top of all of that. Then it's like, well, okay, let's say you make it in the industry. If you make it, then you're going to be making you're going to have to play ball with them, and you have to make the bullshit that they want you to make. So
Right.
Yeah, think about when you're breaking into it too. You sure you want to go in now?
yeah,
I want to wait and see how things are cleaned up a bit.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we all have to try. The drinker did it, and I'm hoping to do it.
Well, that's the thing of just keep sending them out.
Yeah, just keep doing it. Yeah.
Plus, especially if it's like something you really enjoy, like like Richard Morgan, who wrote Altered Carbon. He had so many failures for years of just writing what he wanted to write, and then he found out like, oh, I have to actually write something that they want, and he used that as a way to give them what they wanted, so he could get in the door, make some money,
Right.
and then start writing what he actually
Right.
wanted to write.
Once he's got that name recognition,
Right.
Altered Carbon. It's a shame we only got one
That's
season
it.
of that show.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
count
hoping
that.
for a second season, but
Boy, but it's all right. We
That-
just got what we got.
No, that
Really great show, though.
fantastic first season.
Really great show.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe one day.
But, yeah. So yeah, let's. It's been a really good Thirsty Thursday. I just want to go around and thank everybody for being here. and go around the table and let me know what you guys are up to on your channels. What you guys are working on. I guess let's start with Sin. Ladies first.
Oh, dear help us. I was going to try to do an audio review of the first 3 episodes of X-Men 97, and I also just finished Renegade Nell, which is a Disney Plus show coming out. I was going to try to film a review for that. I'm going out of town next week, so I don't know. Maybe it'll get up, maybe it won't. I don't know. And I'm going to try to do a live stream on Monday or Tuesday about movies that need a sequel that never got one.
Ooh, that's
Cool.
That's a
Good
rarity.
topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Hard cut. What do you guys? I know Roadhouse is.
Well, we're dropping our Roadhouse.
We got
review
Roadhouse
tomorrow.
in the can, and then we also got the Society of American
Society of
Negroes.
Magical Negroes.
That's in the can as well.
That's coming. I would like to get Ghostbusters.
We have to see Ghostbusters. We're gonna do that this weekend.
Yeah, and then there's actually a bunch coming up that we want to see, but we're gonna try and we haven't done our own channel live stream in a while, so we're gonna try and get one going where we
awesome.
we go over the career of Mr. Zack Snyder.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Speaking of
we
Mr.
put
Snyder.
a review out for Rebel Moon a couple months ago, and mostly positive in the comment section, but there were some
There were
crazy.
some Snyder detractors.
There were
in there.
some
Yeah.
Snyder simp syndrome.
Yes.
Is strong. So we got into some heated debates. So we're gonna just expand on that conversation, and
We're gonna let the hate flow.
we're gonna let the hate flow and do a full deep dive into Snyder right before we do the Rebel Moon 2 review.
Oh, when
So we
is
got
that
that coming. So that's coming, I think, mid-April.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah,
But, so we're just
watch half of it.
we're just trying to stick to like just whatever the big thing for the week is that we can get out to the theater and see. So I kind of wasn't able to do much the last few weeks.
And
But-
yeah, I've been also very, very busy. So
But new review coming tomorrow, Roadhouse.
Nice, can't wait for that. And Badger, what do you guys? You put out multiple videos a day, so
Oh, I did the Ryan Kinnell 3 videos a day thing. There's a lot of different tactics. So yeah, 3 videos every day, and then Friday I have Inside the Badger Den live stream, 9 p.m. PST, and then Saturday with Nerd Wars on his channel we do Nerd Rage at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
oh, nice. I
And, yeah.
definitely got to check that out. On my
It's a fun time.
Yeah, my channel, I have to do the Ghostbusters review, but I'm just like, like it's just complete lack of soul. And then whatever Hollywood throws, because they're going after us YouTubers, so I might go the Jesse Grant route and talk about how they've been attacking Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. But it's been a really, really fun live stream, you guys. So really got to thank you for coming on.
Now watch
Anytime.
Late
Thanks for
Night,
having
with,
us, man.
Late Night with
Sorry
the Devil.
we were
Watch
late.
that.
yeah, sorry we were late and the technical difficulties.
Well,
You guys are
You're
divas.
here.
You showed up to the party late.
you know what they used to say in school, or what I used to say: better late than never.
Better late than never. No, I'm glad you guys showed. It was nice meeting you. You too, Sin. Very nice. And
Yeah.
Paul,
Nice
obviously.
meeting you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you too.
All right. Well, bye everybody.
All right, see you guys.